Hey Dane, let me know if you can hear me if you're still watching on YouTube. Um, I suspect from your from your comments that the YouTube stream hasn't updated from the last time we went live. So let me just look into that. Okay, so this stream, if anyone's here watching, there's actually no event. I'm sorry for the confusion. It looks like the titles have updated on Twitch, but they haven't updated on YouTube, and I suspect that is because of the OBS plugin that I'm using to multi-stream. So, yes, just to confirm, there's no event coverage today. We're not doing live coverage. This stream is kind of I had some spare time and I wanted to test a bunch of things. If you saw the go live notifications, just testing some stuff. And then I have some leftover footage that I wanted to repurpose from some of the legacy events that came from north of Toronto. So I thought maybe I would just test and use that footage. So we're probably looking at maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours of streaming, depends on how I feel. Pretty tired after work, but yeah, so things I'm testing right now are multi streaming, timers, just making sure webcams are working, and I've been having a lot of difficulty with some of the equipment recently. The most recent 1K that we covered at the beginning of April, I think actually last weekend, the footage was awful. There's a lot of technical difficulties with it, and it was just unusable. So, kind of took the week off to kind of gather my thoughts and try to figure it out. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. It says that my microphone is being registered. Maybe we'll just switch here. Yeah, okay, so we're testing the lapel mics. So these are the ones that they're different from the ones that we used during the ETB 1K. So theirs are probably a little bit higher quality than the ones we're using tonight, or that we're testing tonight.
We're live.
That's loud. Sorry about that. Yeah, so we're testing these mics. If you can't hear me or the volume is low, please let me know. That is something that I'll have to sort out. And if I can't sort it out by this stream, then I'm going to I'll just switch over to my usual desk mic, which is like the Blue Yeti. Yeah, okay. So I don't know what is going on here. Why is this so badly positioned? It has been a long time since I've streamed using this computer. That's another thing that I'm looking into. Is I actually just reached out to a friend of mine who, constructs computers and stuff, and I'm looking into getting a specific, like a mini PC. Hey Pakari, how's it going? Since when am I streaming again? This was this was like not planned. I'm testing a bunch of stuff today. So this is like a more of like a tech, I don't know what you would call it, a technology test. So this is like a very, like, I had some spare time. We're just making sure. So I guess I could use this as like a pre mini advertisement. I am going to be streaming the Legacy of the North Winter Invitational that's happening in 2 weeks. So that's April 27th. Start time should be 12 p.m., so that's exactly noon. And that's Eastern Standard Time, so EST. So yeah, if you guys have any questions on anything, So this will just be like a mini watch party for some repurposed footage. This can be an AMA if you want to know anything. Yeah, just fire away and I'll be just working away and just verbalizing all of my thoughts. This is definitely not because okay, so my issue here is like there's not really a way to test a stream without actually going live, and there's no way for me to know the results without it actually going live. So if you guys are here, it's very helpful because then you guys can answer me in real time. But otherwise, I'll just have to watch the VOD back and figure it out myself. But yeah, how was your guys' day? So I'm looking at two. So this is one thing that I have like a really big problem with multi-streaming, or at least the plugin that I'm using for multi-stream, is that I have the Twitch chat as a doc and available like to me readily on OBS, but YouTube's chat is I have to keep open by web browser, and it's kind of distorting my screen a little bit. So if you are chatting via YouTube, I might be just a tiny bit delayed, but I can actually see your comments this time. So I know when I was restreaming on, I think it was March 20th. What was the date for that invitation, or was it a 1K? I think it was the 23rd. I think March 23rd is when we did the ETB celebration stream. Please do intro again. I missed it. Oh, there was no intro. It was just me saying I think YouTube has not updated its title. So I might have lost viewers because I think the title is currently the title for the what's it called? The Legacy 1K. I don't know. Maybe I'll watch the Legacy. I watched a little clip, like a few clips, and a couple of my friends told me about the restream that happened, and I watched like maybe 10 seconds of it, and I found it actually unbearable, and I couldn't watch it anymore. So maybe I'll watch that, and I'll give some behind the scenes jibber jabber about it. But yeah, how's it going, Pear? Long time no speak. Guess I'll see you in a couple of weeks, or next week, I think. Wow, Bedge. Okay, hold on. What was I doing? I need to fix the screen. Let's do. Should be fit to screen, right? There we go. Now we see both players. Whoa. Okay, so it does not apply on every single scene. Oh, this is something that I really, really want to know is when if you guys can keep a listen, or it might be too much to ask to pay attention, but I would like to know, wait, why are there black bars? Hey, what is happening here? If I go to this scene, we're full screen, but then when we go to this screen, it is also full screen, but when we go live, why does it cut me off like that? This is a nice transition. When did I add that? Wow, it has been so long since I've streamed. I'm so sorry. This is we're figuring out new stuff today. Okay. While I'm flipping through screens, is my audio cutting, or like how's the audio? I think that's one big thing that I'm really worried about is I want to make sure all of the audio works. Okay, so it's supposed to be stretched to screen. Okay. No, this is we're Scuff Streamer, okay? There's a reason why I don't have a Red Bull fridge in my background. Okay, sounds good on my end. Okay, so this is cool because this is using the lapel mic, and from what I can tell, the mics are a little bit quieter than what I'm used to using. So if I'm constantly speaking and I'm like transitioning through screens, I would like to know, like, is my audio cutting out like at all? Because I think what I will do is I'll go to YouTube and I'm going to trying to figure out what happened during the ETB 1K to see why audio was cutting out while we were transitioning from scene to scene. And whether or not I'll be able to figure it out today is going to be up in the air. Wow. Okay, so every single one of these screens needs to be adjusted, so that's going to be really annoying. Okay. Yeah, maybe we'll do that first instead of watching some legacy footage. So you guys will be able to get... No, you won't. I'm lying to you. Don't listen to me. Okay. Maybe I will load up the video first before sharing it. What? See, this is legacy MTGO? Okay, so if I'm speaking kind of like this, do I get like... Am I too quiet for you guys, or how's the audio level here? This is around like negative 40 decibels if I try not like... Because this is me speaking kind of like using my interior or internal voice. But then when I'm actually trying to project, it's like this. I feel like I'm speaking much louder while I'm projecting, but the microphone is telling me that it's not actually that much louder. And it might just be because the lapel mic isn't as sensitive. So while I load up this YouTube video, please let me know in the comments how that sounds. But yeah, we will... I have to... Oh my god, I am too hyped up on caffeine that I'm randomly clicking. Volume is good. Okay, sick. This is amazing. So I think I'll just... Okay. Yeah, we're gonna... A part of me doesn't really want to do this because if the guys at ETB see this, they might get a little offended, but you know what? I have to voice my complaints somewhere, and it's going to be...
Outside of step-throughs, it's a cycle.
Okay, so I started listening to it here, and I don't know why this... Okay, we'll watch like 10 seconds, and then...
You can cycle at instant speed, and traditionally you only see it in Shuffle breakfast type plays.
Yes.
Right?
Oh,
and
that deck. Like, playing it sometimes.
Yeah, and being able to see step-through, search for something that's not Thassa's Oracle is just...
Okay, so first, right off the bat, is that audio is awful. It is absolutely terrible. And something that my friend had let me know was on the main stream. So let me see if we can find it. So what, ETB Canada? On the main stream, apparently it didn't sound like that, and it actually sounded quite normal. So let's go see if we can find it. What? Why are there only 5 videos? Wait, have they not adjusted it so that it saves more VODs? Why are there only 5 videos? 9 days ago? What? Look, it's buffering when we flip through. Oh, it's not doing it anymore. Filter by maybe highlights? Uploads? Why do they have nothing on their channel? I thought they stream every week. What is going on? Do they not have the original VOD? Well, that's disappointing. Okay, well, I guess we'll have to... Did they post it here? Wait, this is me. Wait, YouTube still hasn't updated yet. Okay. Let me manually update YouTube. Oh my god, this is terrible. How do I want to go? What is this? Okay, YouTube should now correctly be displaying the title. Oh, is it because ETB is no longer the title? Okay, whatever. Enter the... Maybe it's ETB Canada? Yeah, there we go. Okay. So yeah, they do have our videos up. So let's look at the finals here. And
you're not going to be allowed to travel any further up with that card. It's just going to go right down in your graveyard.
yeah, okay, so here.
A little bit of a tempo play here for Boston to start off our game.
So the audio is like completely fine here, and
least amount of information
Lyle has. I'm not sure exactly what went wrong with the restream. So I guess the good thing is, as long as... Oh my god, what happened here? Wait, what is this? Why is it like this? Oh, that's weird. Okay, anyway. As long as the audio was fine on like the main channel, I don't think it's too much of an issue. Like, it looks bad on my channel, but that's fine. Maybe the videos get auto... Yeah, so VODs get auto deleted, but usually it takes like a month. You can change the settings so that you save past VODs so that you can stay on the profile for up to 60 days. So we're still within that time frame for when the 1K happened, but wow, that's just kind of amateurish if they haven't changed that yet. Anyway, I haven't watched any of the actual footage until recently. So let me see. Wow, they have Danjan gameplay from 1 year ago. Yo, Steven!
What's up, everybody? Hello, everyone, and welcome.
Okay, so I don't know who this guy is, but this is one thing that I like. Well, I don't think I should air this on stream. But I had like a lot of problems with like their... Actually, this layout actually doesn't look that bad. This weird black bar at the bottom is kind of weird. Enter the battlefield logo, they've updated and stuff, but this is from a year ago. But if we look at their more recent stuff, we do a comparison on what their normal stuff looks like, and then what are like the changes were for the 1K. And I'm interested to see what you guys think, because I would really like to... Like, Magic is such a bad game to watch, right? So this is one thing. If you guys listened to the interview I did with Anu or OnZMTG, we did get into like very specific stuff at the end, which I didn't post. But I think when I edited it and posted it, I left in how, like, basically my argument was like, Magic is such a terrible game as an audience member, and it's like so boring to watch. And what I was trying to figure out how to make it more fun to watch if you're kind of casual. So I know that the majority of my viewers, they're pretty enfranchised and they'll consume the content no matter what, almost. Like, at least they'll click on it. Whether or not they stay and watch the entire thing, it's like less than 10%. But yeah, my entire thing was, how do we get more people to watch events, right? They had a Canlander stream a few weeks back. Yeah, it's not there. So there's only like 5 videos that are VODs on that Twitch channel, and I guess we can use them as like view layout examples. But
to the deck.
Yeah, my whole shtick, and one thing I'm gonna reach out to other legacy content creators. Maybe I'll reach out to other content creators in general. And my whole thing is, how do we get more people like watching this format? And it's like basically, if we could get more eyes, like my train of thought, and I don't know if this is what is true, but my train of thought is that if we get more people or more eyes on the format and we present it in a fun way, like, will it increase the popularity of the format, right? And I understand that it's gonna be really hard to increase number of players just because the floor to entry of Legacy is so high, and it's because of the dollar value, and it is like very limiting on what you can do. But if we can make a push, so I know Trevor, one of the founders of Legacy of the North, his goal is, if we can make the invitationals bigger and we can start getting more than 32 players, and we can find out like an appropriate system on how to accommodate more players, we can step away from using Companion. And the moment we step away from using Companion and disassociating ourselves from Wizards of the Coast, the more we can push proxy usage. Now, the issue here is, do people play Legacy for fun, or do people play Legacy for the competitive aspect? And it could be that both go hand in hand, but it's also true that it might not be, right? Like, a common saying that we have in my friend group when we play, especially when we play League of Legends, is like, well, I want to play for fun. We want to play fun champions. We want to do crazy stuff. We want to do things that aren't meta. We just want to do whatever the hell we want to have fun. And a few of us, our main argument is, well, winning is fun, right? It's not fun to lose. I mean, it might be fun to lose if that is your goal, but Magic as a competitive card game, or just like a card game where it's like very similar to fighting games, is like you're playing with one other person. They are titled as your opponent, right? You are both playing to win. There's no in between. It's either you win or you lose. I guess there's draws, but there's placeholders that force draws, right? It's not supposed to be one of the options. Like, you're not supposed to draw. Like, someone told, like, we were talking with one of my friends, and his argument was like, well, we're playing for $1,000 in terms of prizing, right? Whether it's cash, whether it's prize support, like store credit, or prize payouts, like specific cards or merchandise, whatever it may be. If it's a 1K, right? If you go into a top 8, you're only seeing about like 120. You're playing for $120 if you split. And his argument is like, what's the point, right? He spends 6 to 8 hours playing Legacy to get $120. And he's like, the rate of pay is not that great. And I told him, I was like, well, first of all, it's not that big of a deal because you get to spend 5 to 6 hours playing Legacy, right? Which is kind of a boon in its own. But my main argument was, those other 7 players, if you make top 8, are your opponents. They're your enemies. And sure, it's all well and good to split the top 8 prize. But if you want to see a larger return on investment without having to do much work, you play your quarters final match, and you try to do a cut to top 4. Your prize pool will significantly increase. Like, it doubles, right? I think that's basically how it works. And if you want even higher stakes, you play the semifinals round, and then you can split the pot 2 ways. Or you could just be that guy and play all the way, right? We live in this world where it's so common that we split the prizing, And it's all well and good. It's fine if people agree to it, but if you agree to it, you can't complain later and say, well, my prize payout wasn't worth it. I mean, you voted to not play. You voted to split the prize 8 ways. So, I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. I don't even know. I got so sidetracked. What are we talking about? Yeah, oh, sorry, prize payouts. So, if we step away from Wizards and we start to allow using proxies, then it becomes much harder to support prizing, right? Like, stores are less incentivized to use their promos for like a non-Wizard sanctioned event opposed to a Wizard sanctioned event, right? If you hold an RC or I don't know, what's this thing below an RC? Store championship? If you hold a store championship, if you hold a store championship, they're more incentivized to give promo packs or support packs or whatever promo cards to that event than it is if you use like MTG Melee, right? MTG Melee doesn't help stores in Wizards' eyes, right? If people use Companion, run events through EventLink, which is a terrible program, by the way. If they use that program, Wizards will see, well, they had 35 players for this standard event, they had 40 players for Pioneer, they had 60 players for Modern, and they had like, I don't know, another 40 players for the next standard event. They're going to say like, wow, this store is doing great. They have their numbers, they're getting customers and retaining customers. You know, send them a little bit more prizing so that they can support the amount of players that are coming, right? If we were to use like Melee to run our events to support proxies, Wizards doesn't see that. They don't care, right? Especially because, you know, it's a format that they don't care about anyway. Steven says, I think that most of the guys are not playing for the store credit. Yeah, so this is one thing that I need to determine, especially when I'm trying to think of ways to produce content for everybody. So one thing that I'm really going to start looking into is a website. I don't know how I'm gonna do this because I'm like running super in the negatives in terms of money, already doing just what I'm doing now. So I don't know if I can add like an added monthly fee to have like Squarespace or something host a website for Legacy of the North. Whether or not ETB is willing to, maybe I can like find like a different sponsor or something for that website. But the problem is like I would want to find a sponsor for this channel, right? Like Lazy MTG, my brand, rather than Legacy of the North. The other thing is like, if I were to use the money to host the website, the website would mostly be for Legacy of the North stuff. So, okay, hold on. I think we're okay testing this microphone. I have to test another microphone. So, let me just get that really quickly and we'll see. Oh, okay. Sorry. You might hear some static or something while I'm doing this. Maybe you'll hear me twice. Actually, maybe I'll do this. Okay, I'm gonna mute this so you guys don't hear like huge. Okay. How does this one sound? The goal is that they don't sound different. I feel like one of them might be louder than the other, but there's nothing that I can do about that. That's just like a product defect. Pakari says, nah, no need to do more things until I get more income. This is true, but the way I think about it is like, I guess there's certain things that I can focus on opposed to other. No one sounds kind of louder. Okay, I'll try to lower my voice, and I'll try not to project as much. I don't know why my voice is getting deeper. Whatever. Okay, I'll try not to project as much. But yeah, so it's weird because I am like the main form of content for Legacy of the North, which I have no issues with. I'm completely fine with this. The problem is like I also want to do other stuff that's not Legacy of the North related, which is like, you know, recording at Cardboard Classics or recording at 401, recording at Face to Face. Like some of them can be, you know, related to Legacy of the North. Some of them I kind of don't want to be associated with Legacy of the North, you know, because I have like my own values and my own, I don't know, what do you want to call it? Beliefs? It's not really beliefs. It's more like values, right? I have my own values and aspirations, right? And sometimes they don't align with Legacy of the North, right? For example, growth, right? Jim and I are very similar, where we want it to be as big as we can be, but Trevor recognizes that sometimes it's just not sustainable. And where I want it to be is like, well, I want people traveling at least from the United States to come to one of our events. That would be my dream, right? That is the epitome of where I'm aiming to go. And whether it's like a buffalo chicken dip size, whether it's like, what's it called? Oklahoma City Land Run. I don't know what it's called. David and I were actually invited to that one. Haha, humble brag. But yeah, I kind of want something that people want to travel to. And when it comes to that, it's a whole different ballpark, right? That's not content creation, that's TOing, right? Tournament organization. So eventually that's kind of where I want it to go, where I want it to end up. My dream for this channel is to have it continue to be what it is now, and it's primarily like legacy coverage. Whether or not we cover different formats, we'll see. That comes with growth. But for now, I just want it to be like, it could be like backwards, right? I feel like I've made it exceptionally harder for myself because I'm approaching it backwards, right? I basically did it the stupid way. I did it the crazy, psychotic way. Like, it's like, why would you pick the niche format that people aren't going to be receiving a lot of prizing for, that doesn't have a lot of eyes? Why would you start there and then spread off or sprout into different ways, right? It makes way more sense to be like someone who's primarily focused on the big thing, right? Like if I was like a tournament grinder and I was playing in the next pro tour, if it's modern or pioneer or standard, you get way more people playing those formats on a regular basis, consuming that content on a regular basis, and then funneling it through into the more specialized format or content or whatever someone wants to focus on. I've done it the reverse. Obviously, I'm pretty much a legacy content, and now I'm thinking about whether or not we should expand, but expanding will be much further down the line. That being said, where was I even going to go with this? I guess what I want is I was hoping there would be, like, this was such a non-scheduled, non-planned thing. I can't really blame people for not knowing that I'm live, but if I just wish that a lot more people would comment and critique on how to improve. Like, don't get me wrong, I do not take the comments for granted. I appreciate every single one of them. I read every single one of them. I try to respond to everyone. Obviously, in the long haul, if this does become, bigger, then I won't be able to do that, and I realize this, but it's fun to do it while it lasts. But like very simple things, like how can I make your viewing experience better, right? Like looking at this screen, I find it perfectly okay. We'll just play it so that there's no titles or anything. But looking at this screen, I find it perfectly okay. This is kind of something that I would prefer, is it's very minimalistic, right? If it were up to me, I wouldn't even have the players' names there. So what I mean is like, can you guys see my mouse? You guys can see my mouse, right? Hold on, can I? Maybe it's better if I do it this way. Wait, why is this? Sorry, we are experiencing technical difficulties. If you guys hear a dog, don't worry. It's probably just a neighbor. Oh, I see what the issue is. Can you guys hear that drilling? That must have been really loud. I think you guys could hear that because I could hear it through my headset, and I typically cannot hear things through my headphones. Okay, hold on. Why is this stretch to screen? No. Transform. Stretch to screen. Okay, there we go. Okay, you guys can see my mouse, right? Yes. Steven confirmed that we can see the... Okay, you can see my mouse in this screen transition, right? This, because we're in a different scene now, so I have to make sure that you guys can see it. So, yeah, can you see my mouse? I just want to make it easier so if I'm pointing things, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, you can see mouse. Okay, great. Okay, so if we're looking at this screen, right? I am perfectly fine with this screen. So just to reiterate, like I like having the life pad at the top. Sometimes we have it at the bottom. The circumstances of whether or not it's at the top or the bottom, it depends on if the players have their decks on the same side. If they don't have it on the same side, it's usually at the top. If they both have it on the same side, usually they're both like one's a left-handed player, one's a right-handed player, and we'll have it usually at the bottom because usually they'll have their decks at the top. I try to orientate players this way so that we can kind of get it as symmetrical as possible and as consistent as possible, but sometimes it doesn't work out. If it were up to me, you guys know, you guys have consumed my videos. Hopefully you guys have consumed my videos, but I typically use the stars as counters, like point counters. So if you win game one, you get like a filled in star. If you don't, it's kind of empty. But then it starts to kind of glow, right? Whether or not I change that, I don't think I will. It will always be some sort of pip system. I think it's so clean and it's so much easier, like, because if you have these numbers here, it's so random. Sometimes, like, it's very confusing when you have things just randomly, like, random UI pieces. Like, I hate it. It's not viewer friendly. And one thing that I try to do to the best of my ability is to make it viewer friendly. Whether or not the commentary is viewer friendly, that's a different story, right? But in terms of visuals, I want you to be able to look at a screen, bar the gameplay. I want you to be able to look at the screen and like tell what's going on, right? So one example is here in one of my flashback highlights. Is you can clearly like tell what is going on, right? You can see both players' life totals. You see what two decks are being played, and you see that the score is 0-0, right? And then whatever is going on in the gameplay, that I cannot control. It's like whatever is happening in the game is that's what's happening, right? If you notice, sometimes people are using different colored dice. Usually only for invitationals or larger events, I will supply dice and tokens. So, for example, the ETB stream was like a more celebrated event, so my dice are here and they are being used. Let me know how you guys feel about the dice, by the way. I very much like the clean numbers, but it gets very problematic when you need to hit 7, 8, 9, basically 7 to 10. It gets really problematic, right? Because the moment you hit anything that uses the numbers 7, 8, or 9, or 0, it gets problematic because those numbers are not represented on the die, on a six-sided die. But anywhere from 1 to 6 is very clear. Like you can go up to 66, right? You can indicate that like just using like 2 6 6s is very, like you can represent 66 with two dice both on 6, right? That's very clean about it. Like you can go 11s, 12s, whatever, 24, 30, 36. As long as there's no 7, 8, 9s, or 0s, then it's fine. Time to get bigger number die. I can. Technically, I can get D12s. Because I don't think, like, D10s, do D10s even exist? They have to exist, right? Anyway, that's getting into, like, too many of the specifics. But if it were up to me, I would actually prefer not to have the player names up there, but I thought it would be nice. Okay. So here, this is something that I do recognize, is when it comes to production, I am very anal. I am very nitpicky. Right? And like, to say how nitpicky I am is Ethan's name is aligned with Black Depths, but Mikey's name is not aligned with Depths. This 0 is closer to the side than this 0 is. These two zeros are both too low and too close to the players. They should be further up. Like, the only reason why the zeros are on its own separate, I guess, row, if you want to imagine it, is like there's like the deck row, the player name row, and then the round row. That's the best way I can describe it. But the reason why there's that third row is because people have different deck name lengths, right? So Black Depths is just longer in terms of character and pixels than, sorry, Rainbow Depths is longer than Black Depths in terms of pixels, right? And being able to center the round count or victory rounds, you can't really put it into the center or at the same level as the deck names. So that means you'd have to put it at the second row, then the player name row. But then if you put at the player name row, then obviously you need to recenter everything. And it just becomes so much of a nightmare and a headache. And I will say, I was not working under the best conditions to have this all set up. I didn't have like 100% control, so I didn't have the time to remake everything. So this is just what we did on the fly. Also, like, we have to take into account the life totals as well, right? So the life totals will almost always be at the top center. So going back, so now we're more into like the learning our lessons things. So I would prefer to use what I normally do, whether or not we keep the stars. If we can find a different pip, like, one thing I also really wanted to do was like, Enter the Battlefield's logo is the sword and shield, and it has like the stave or the staff. That would be really cool, right? If we could use the shields, and it's like, we just like add a gray, we kind of darken it, so we have darker shields, and then the moment someone wins, you just brighten the shield, right? Is it really that big a deal when it's not 100% your production that day? To me, yes. I think it is it's a huge deal, because the goal of the channel and the goal, like, I know I don't get paid to do this, and I'm not like an employee or anything, but I it is my belief and my work ethic. It is my, I consider it my job to have all of these things correct. Is correct the right word? I want it to be as best as it possibly can be. And I guess to some degree and some metric, you can say that yes, what we ended up with was the best that it could be. But I'm now nitpicking and trying to make it, I'm trying to nitpick and trying to learn so that for next time, I don't have these nitpicks. I won't have a problem with it next time, right? And that's why I kind of really like having an audience going through this kind of stuff, because the things that I find really, really annoying and really, really stressful, like having all of this entire, like Mikey's and the Zero, having this not aligned, really, really bothers me. And if it doesn't bother other people, that's fine, right? Because if it is aligned, I assume that no one will have problems with it, right? Like, see how close this S is to the end of the screen, whereas there's way more space between the black, like the B and the other side? This really bothers me. Like, to an unbelievable extent. This is unfathomable. This should not have happened. At all. This is something that purely could have been avoided. So, again, if I would assume that fixing these like really, really small, minute things, I would assume that not many people care, so that if they are changed, they won't really notice it. But I will notice that it's not there, and that I don't need to worry about it for the next time. What's up, Popa? Long time no speak. But yeah, I hope you understand where I'm coming from, and I hope it makes sense. I hope I don't sound like a crazy person, because hearing myself say this out loud and verbalize it makes me feel like a crazy person. I feel like I belong in like an institute wearing a straitjacket. But yeah, it's just something to improve the viewing experience, right? That is my whole goal, and it's something that I really, really wanted to talk to Anurag about, was how do we make the viewing experience so much better? Because I think the one thing that I think we absolutely like 100% wholeheartedly agreed on related to this topic was that content creators were basically the primary way to retain viewers in terms of Magic, unless they were like diehard fans, right? So for example, if Nathan Stoyer did not attend an event but was watching like the Pro Tour, like if he had like a day and he was like, I don't know, maybe resting from traveling or just like chilling for the day, he would turn on and he would just watch the entire event, right? And if he didn't have any conflicting responsibilities or conflicting plans, he would just watch the event, right? But if a casual viewer who dabbles in Commander was just like, oh, I'm going to tune into like a Legacy event, if it's so ugly and like not understandable, and if there was no commentary, right? If it was just players speaking, maybe players speaking is very interesting to players, and just hearing if people express their lines of play, like, yeah, sure, that's very enticing, and it will capture a lot of people's attention, and you can kind of get a closer look into people's thought processes. But if you get rid of that and you were just like, okay, if I pretend I'm the viewer and I was just watching this, I'm kind of bored, right? If I was like, I have two people on the screen who are clearly talking, doing some kind of commentary, like, why don't we just turn it on?
He does have Thespian Stage Dark Depths combo in the hand.
Oh god, it's me talking. I can't bear to hear myself speak. But yeah, that's kind of like my whole point. And it's like, how do we make it more interesting for people to continue watching? So if you want like a behind the scenes piece of information, it's like, I think peak viewership is like within the first 6 minutes. Okay, so this is actually, you bring up a good thing. So for everyone, if you're watching this on YouTube, Pakari asked a question, or Pakari said this a very funny statement. He says, "No way, so riveting watching them shuffle cards in their hand." This I actually saw this is something that I wanted to bring up to Anurag in our follow-up interview that's they're gonna be having soon. And I'm pretty much gonna be reaching out to other content creators. And I wanna ask them the same question. And it was this Reddit post that was posted around 7 months ago. And I think the title of it was like, why did official Wizards coverage for Worlds, why was it paper instead of digital on Arena? And I think it was because it was like a, I don't know what event it was. It must have been standard because they're asking why it wasn't on. Maybe it was a different format. Maybe that's why it was not using Arena. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. It was a very interesting statement, right? Because it kind of shows what happened after the pandemic. And it was like throughout the pandemic, the only way to consume that kind of like very competitive state of play was through digital. It was through Magic, or sorry, it was through Arena or through Moto. And I just realized I'm not centered. Sorry. Wow, I'm like super over. Whatever. God, I'm getting sidetracked. Yeah, so it was primarily digital, and then someone said they started watching during the pandemic. They started playing Arena while it was on lockdown, and it kind of got me thinking, like, if the newer generation of players is primarily playing through digital, how do they feel about watching something like this? Obviously, this output is lower quality. I think this is only 720p. But imagine this if it was higher def. And like, how would they feel? They might not be able, like, I know Twitch might have, I don't know what it is like now because I don't really watch streams anymore, but there's certainly a number of plugins or assist tools available to people on Twitch where you can mouse over cards and it basically has what we have here with the Dark Depths. And it basically is like, but it puts it onto their screen, right? If you install this web plugin or this tool through Chrome or something, if you mouse over it, it will show you what that card is. It will blow it up to Dark Depth size, and you can kind of read what it is on your own time. But you can't do that with paper play, right? You have to pay attention to what cards are being played, what specific individual players are playing, and this gets a lot more difficult as Wizards goes down the trail or the path that they have chosen, right? And that is so many different alternate arts, so many different versions of cards. Yeah, it gets really, really hard for viewers to understand what's going on. Yeah. So Picari says official Wizards event have that. Yeah. So if there's a way for me to do it on YouTube, I would look into it. But I'm definitely not a software developer. That is something way outside the realms of my abilities. Yeah. So one thing that Anurag really stressed when he was talking to me was like, I have to use the tools that I have, and I'm trying to aspire to things that I clearly don't have or that I don't have access to. So that's why I really, really want to nail down like this templating, right? If it were like up to me, the red would be a little bit brighter. The way these titles are is just, it's so not appealing. Like Black Depths, like it's like, why is Mikey so far into this screen while Ethan is so far to the corner? Like, it's just, it's ugly. Like, it's a very harsh word, but like, there's no other really good way of putting it. Like, I wonder if you guys agree or disagree. Like looking at this specific template, if we were to look at this, like, what are your guys' thoughts? Right? Like this space right here, there's like so much dead space. And then this like white bar above the Dark Depths is so irritating. Like, I don't know why it's there. And I think we tried to fix it before, but the way we had it set up is just not ideal. It's not really the way I wanted it to be. Price is trash. I don't know when you posted trash. Was it in response to me asking about how the template looks? But yeah, like there's several screens that I really want to like talk about, right? This is one of them. Is that is also another thing that I want, is like I really didn't want commentator's screen like during gameplay at all. Like this is one of the screens or templates that I wanted to avoid at all costs. And it's because I feel like the aspect ratio of this game is pretty much the same, but I feel like it's smaller for you guys to be viewing. Right? I guess I could be wrong. So like if you compare this size play area to back here, it doesn't seem all that much bigger, but because you don't have it's not really an overlay, but we'll call it the overlay. Because you don't have that overlay, it seems much bigger, right? Because you can see players' hands, you can see like partial parts of the players. Like all we really did was we trimmed out this area. We kind of cut it down to about like around the table, so that the camera would only capture the table, and we just have the players' arms and not their torsos, right? That's essentially what this box is. It is favoring the right side a little bit more, but it's like whatever. That I really want to fix, but it's just that the camera wasn't centered, and it, like a couple people kept knocking into it, but that's fine. Yeah, okay, cool. That's what I thought. So Picari says, no need to see commentators during gameplay. It's okay during sideboarding. Even during sideboarding. Okay, so this is one thing that was really difficult. And it's... we just didn't have access to it. And it was because we didn't have a way to get people's deck lists digital in time. Because it was only a 1K, and we needed to have... sorry, it was Comp REL, so you needed to provide a deck list. Most of the deck lists were provided in paper. Sorry, all of them were provided in paper. And we just didn't have a way or a reasonable way of getting the deck list on like Moxfield or MTG Goldfish or something like that. And there was no way to get the deck lists on the screen. So one thing that I really wanted to do was to use like the Moxfield, like a plugin, or not even like a plugin, just like, I don't know. We'll just go to Moxfield, right? I think they have different views. We'll just use my hardened scales list. Is there a way to change the display? If you guys are more experienced with Moxfield than I am, I'm pretty sure that you are. Let me know if there's a specific way of doing this. I thought that there was a way. Nope. Is it sort? Group? No, these are ways to... Oh, no, view. Yes. Yes! This is how I wanted it. What's a visual spoiler? What is visual spoiler? I don't understand. Anyway, it's not a new brew. This is something that I was playing a while ago, but it didn't really work out. It had very many problems, like Null Rod. Maybe I think this is something that Goldfish does very, very well, right? If we were to go look at like Beanstalk Control and then you go Visual View, this is so nice. everything is so laid out so freaking well, other than them choosing like the newest fanciest artwork. One big issue with it is that there's no really good zoom in option, right? Like it's, oh, it is vectored. Wow. Okay. So like basically, if it were up to me, what the screen would just be like this, right? And we could just look at the deck list, and then there would be like a visual viewer. I don't know. There isn't one here because of the view that we've selected. But if you were to like mouse over a card, then it would have like this portion here, the one that like changes, right? Whatever the card is that you're mousing over. I don't really, I would like to call it like a card inspector. I don't know if there's like an actual term for it. But if you could somehow combine the two, oh, it would be perfect. Like there's so much dead space here, right? Like if we were just to even use the way my stream is like laid out right now, like if we were just use this, right? Like we had this, and then right above me in this area here would be the card inspector. That's like all you need, right? Like you can have the commentators at the bottom just to fill in space so that you don't have that dead space, right? But if you had something else there, like if we had someone's like sideboard notes on like what to cut in, what to cut out, what the typicals are, if there's averages, if we had more data or something there, if we had like win percentages, I don't know, something. It could be commentators, it could be any forms of data, it could be win-loss ratios, history for the player, I don't know. It's something that could be tracked. Something to fill space, right? Because a card is only so big. Like, it would only, like, the maximum you would be is, like, if you take the width of this black bar, you would only come to around, like, this, like, halfway down. So you still have, like, quite a bit of dead space in this bottom right-hand corner. But this alone would have been, like, an amazing sideboard commentator screen, right? Because you have the full deck in front of you. People can look at it. So one thing that I will spoil. So if you guys are just joining, or you've joined recently and you missed the beginning, I did make an announcement that I am going to be streaming the Legacy of the North Spring Invitational. Is it Spring Invitational? I think it's the Spring Invitational. Yes, it's the Spring Invitational. I'm going to be streaming that. That is going to be on April 27th, starting at noon Eastern Standard Time. So I'm just specifying, like, for that event, I've asked people to submit their, like, a link to me that leads, like, ideally everything's going to be on Moxfield. Like, if someone submits it to me on Goldfish, that's fine. I will most likely transfer it over to Moxfield. Like, it's not my, I don't know, how do I explain it? Like, I don't want to endorse it, right? Because, like, they don't sponsor me, right? And it's like a free sponsorship, but it's kind of like really good at what it does. And there's nothing that really compares to it other than like Goldfish, right? Like Goldfish has this. This seems really zoomed out now. DQ, what? Do they, if they don't use Moxfield? DQ the I've tried to figure out what you're saying. I assume that you're saying DQ them if they don't use Moxfield. No. They will not be DQ'd. They just won't be featured. Actually, no. If they don't provide a digital deck list, they will not be featured. That was in the post. I had to edit that post because it came to me afterwards. After I posted it, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to bring down the hammer and just be like, if you don't submit a deck list to me, I'm not going to have that data for people, and I'm not going to have time in the morning of to input that information. So you know what? If you don't get it to me beforehand, I'm not featuring you. That is just going to be like, I don't care if you're in the finals. If you're in a top 8 and all of like the other top 8 players have submitted their deck list, and your opponent did not submit a digital deck list, I'm sorry. You might have wanted to be featured, but you should really, like, we're a community here and we should be striving for the best, like, all together. So please, if you're in the top 32, spread the word. Email me the digital deck list through the Legacy of the North email, please. If you do not, you will not be featured. I don't care if you're in the finals match. I just won't feature you. I will pack up my camera and I'll be like, okay, that's it. You guys play your finals. I'm out of there. And you know what? I'll just watch. Maybe I'll record it. I will. Yeah, okay. I'll record it. I'll make it so that it's like a public punishment. Okay? People won't be able to watch it live because you, and I will single you out. I'm not afraid to do that. You're not, like, yes, you're a skilled Magic player for making it to the finals of the match, but you're not more special than everyone else. Everyone else was accommodating and was cooperative. There's no reason why you can't be either, right? I'm not asking for much. It is just make a Moxfield account, make a MTG Goldfish account, use a dummy address for whatever. I'm going to be doing it this way from here on out, so you can use this account specifically to upload your deck list to us. It's so much easier because even if you go to like Eternal Weekend or something, they're gonna ask for your deck list anyway. And if you're on Moxfield, you can literally import and export it. You can keep it up to date live. Like it's a tool that you should use anyway, right? You can keep track of history changes, whatever. It's such a magnificent tool. And I want to, like, it's so easy to use. But yeah, it's just a way for the commentators or production. It's just a way for us to more easily understand what needs to be talked about here. And this is something I also want to figure it out. You're too much of a boomer. Do you want me to walk you through it now? It's not that hard. You can literally, it can't be that hard. You have a Twitch account. I know you know how to make an account. Once you've made an account, you can literally click this purple plus button. It'll say new deck, new package, new bookmarks. You click new deck, bam, there you go. Deck name, Pakari is Boomer, right? The stuff down here doesn't matter. This is for your personal organizational purposes, right? Oh, actually, no, sorry. This is a very, very key thing. If you are uploading, you must select unlisted for visibility. This way, it does not show up on your profile, and I can still access it. Because if you mark it as private, even if you send me a link, I will not be able to access it. If you select unlisted, I will still be able to access it if you send it via link. So if you click create, boom, there you are. All you need to do is, I don't know. I don't want to give away your secrets. What's the deck that you used to play? Thassa's Oracle. You want to play a Thassa's Oracle? I'll even give you a pointer. Okay? If you type in Thassa's Oracle, this will populate. There might be a bunch of cards that populate. You can select the top one if you click Shift Enter. It will automatically enter into the deck. This is a quick way to avoid this problem. Oracle. Right? If you just searched it this way and pressed normal enter, it'll take you to a page to select it, right? So for example, if you typed in goblin, and you just pressed enter, it'll take you to anything that has the word goblin in it. I can't believe I'm doing a Moxfield tutorial. I know Pakari was kind of trolling, but some people need to know. But if you do goblin, and you just want Battlecry Goblin, you can type Shift Enter and it'll put the first entry on the list. So if you type the name exactly how it is and press Shift Enter, it is much quicker. And then from here, you can use Alt-1 to add a card, Alt-2 to decrease the card, you can Alt-3 to put it to sideboard, you can Alt-4 to move it to considering. Right? These are just shortcuts that you can use. But yeah, now I have to get rid of this godforsaken deck. You could do this by going to more, then clicking delete. Permanently delete. Perfect. There. Good as new. But yeah, so going back to what we were initially talking about, there's a missing screen amongst the screens that I did want to use for the invitational stream. there should have been a deck list, like a full deck list stream for sideboarding, so that we as commentators know exactly what's in your deck. So I think that's one thing one player had a complaint about, and I fully understand where he's coming from, is that the other host and I, Will, so Will is the gentleman in the green suit, in the finals match, we had made some guesses about what cards would have been played at what time. So I think at one point we labeled it as like 5-color control. I think it was like 5-color beans. But he brought up a really, really good point of, we thought that he was going to Murderous Cut. And I think he had corrected us and said like only like a week ago, he corrected us and said like there was not a Murderous Cut in his deck, right? And this is kind of why I really, really want to have that deck list screen up, is because as commentators, we can look at it, we can make more deterministic suggestions or commentary based on the knowledge that is available to us. And when you play a topic that has open deck lists and you take the deck list away from us, we're kind of shooting in the dark. So yeah, that is another point. See, this is one thing that I'm like really having issues is like, we have approximately 30 seconds of full camera gameplay, right? We like, down here is like, it's us, then it gets into them determining mulligans and stuff, and then the moment we want to view specific cards, we go into this really ugly looking template or ugly overlay. And one thing that's really irritating for me is that this commentator box is not the same width as the card box, right? It's fine if there was more space, right? If you drop to this commentator box down below or down below, and then you have much more space dividing the card and the commentator's box. So if the card started like close to the top, it was like up here and came down to the bottom, and then like if it was just very separated, it would have been like much better. But yeah, maybe something that I might entertain, like an idea that I might entertain is, why does it say camera not available? What is going on? Has that been there the entire time? Oh my god. Oops, my bad. One idea that I might be entertaining, and what I want your guys' opinion on, is player orientation, right? So one thing that I've actually noticed is this is where Wizards has gone officially. I don't know. MTG Pro Tour. Seth Manfield versus Simon Nielsen. Ooh, that's a nice transition. I like this. Whee! Maybe I should steal that. Whoa, Cedric Phillips is on the official commentary team? What a talented boy. Okay. So this is a very big move that Wizards has decided to take. So in the past, they have had the same orientation as we have used down here or over here, right? Is left players sitting on left to right. Wizards has now shifted from top to bottom. And I think this is to mimic and to aid the audience. So this is one thing that I will applaud. Like I do have to say, and I do have to admit, that as much as I hate Wizards most of the time, their production is phenomenal. Fantastic. I have almost no issues with it. This is so clean. It's so nice. Look, even they used pips. Yes, so this is what I was getting to, is Picari's bringing attention to the main argument, is that it helps viewers. It's arguable. One, it might not help viewers because cards are upside down, which is very disorientating. but it does help viewers because it mimics arena orientation, right? And if you don't understand what I mean, very quickly, you could just type in MTG Arena. And the moment you log in, your opponent is at the top of the screen, you're at the bottom of the screen, your cards are oriented this way. Like, it's very, very, it mimics it, right? Your opponent's at the top, their cards are at the top, you are at the bottom, players at the bottom. Very, very easy translation. It is very easy for newcomers to understand. If they were to start with Arena, it is very, very easy for them to understand that, like, what they're seeing, right? Because they have previous knowledge and they can fit this new information of what they're taking in, even though they're physical cards. It helps them fit into the premise of what they're used to. And that is something that this orientation struggles with. And it is like left to right. I will make the argument, though, that in terms of what we have and the tools we have and the sheer lack of production during live streaming, this orientation is much more fitting. And what I mean by this is that if we look at this, right, the Pro Tour, there's an entire production team managing the player cameras, right? If a player moves too far back, then a camera or someone on production or the cameraman will follow, right? If someone moves too far forward, if someone's moving side to side, you have someone there kind of focusing, right? That's at minimum 2 to 4 people. You then have another 2 to 4 people doing hand tracking. So I don't think here. So there's 2 people here, right? This is I think this is judge, table judge. I don't know who this person is here. But these 2 people with iPads or tablets, they are hand tracking. And most likely tracking like what's happening from turn to turn, like what cards are being played. And that in turn speaks to another team member or other team members to update this on the stream, right? So you have a team of like at least 4 to 6 people at minimum just managing this sidebar, right? That doesn't even include commentators. That doesn't include directors or product directors. Sorry, production directors, right? Who says transition from this screen, transition to the next screen. You know, zoom in on someone's face, zoom in on someone's hand. You know, I guess you don't need to zoom in on someone's hand because you have the cards in hand, right? You have the hand trackers here. Yeah, so this is actually something that I tried to mimic or dabble with, was the hand tracker. And I will say it was cool, but it had the opposite effect of what I intended. So maybe it's easier if we do, I don't know, LOTN, is it King of the North? What did I name it? King of the North match. Well, that did not have the, maybe I have to do Legacy of the North Royalty. Well, one of my videos comes up. Oh shoot, what did I name it? Was it Royalty of the North? Legacy? Ah, what did I name it? This is making me look so bad. Maybe I should not show this on stream. When did it go up? It went up sometime in August, right? Maybe it was early September. This is July. This is too far. Where is it? What is this? Well, that's incorrectly titled. I'll fix that later. Where is... Ah, there it is. Nope, 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 nope. That's the rough copy. So it must be the next video. Wow, what a crappy title, Ben. God. Okay, so here. This is something that I tried to dabble with. In addition to hand cams. Wow, this is so shaky. Where is it? I think I tried to do it here. Yeah. So, doing it this way had the opposite effect of what I intended. Right? And someone had brought it to my attention that this was wildly confusing. And what they meant was the cards at the top and the cards at the bottom. And at the time when I was making this, it made very clear, like, it made sense to me that it was like, you're looking at the top first, which is player 1, and then you like move down the information, and then you get to like player 2's. That's how my brain made sense of it, but I am now wildly aware that my brain operates much differently than other people. And I don't know, the way I guess you could see it is if you were to orientate it like this was it, then you would bring it sideways, or you would like rotate it 90 degrees to the left. Like the red elemental blast, the brainstorm, and the Murktide, it would fall over to Boston's side of the screen. That kind of just doesn't make sense. It's just whatever. It's whatever you make of it. But yes, I understand that having this bar with this orientation is confusing. And it is not something that I have gone back to. So, yeah. One thing that I do want to go back to is having like the digital nameplates. But that is just, it's a lot more work. So if you do look at some of the old content, it should be one of the Cloud Post matches. They have the digital hands. And what I mean by digital hands is Card Market. So Card Market does this in their videos. Well, no, this is not what I want. We'll do this one. This one should have it. Card Market does an incredible job in terms of production, right? They're just much more experienced than I am. So a few of my videos have these card nameplates is what I call them. They have it here. And it's so clean and simple. It is so clean and simple from a viewer perspective. It is perfect, right? You know whose hand it is. It's not taking up so much space on the screen that it kind of changes. They also use, so this is something that like I was very confused by though, is they also use a top to bottom orientation, but they still keep the hands this way. And it's wild to me that people would find... Did I close it? I did close it. People would find my Delver video confusing, but they don't find this confusing. So that's something I found very interesting. Oops. if I could replicate this, this is so simple. Like having a life point bar is so cool. It's just everything about this is so clean. You see here, everything that I really like uses the round point pips. And there's one thing that doesn't use the round point pips, and I just really don't like it. Yeah. I don't know. These are just like things I want to improve and want to change. I think there was one really big problem that a lot of people kept referencing, and I want to know if it's true. So I'm just gonna stop speaking for a moment.
And we usually have a finals match between the person who's
God, it's me
grinded the most
talking
points
again.
and is
I
the
hate
point
when I
leader.
talk.
And then during our
Can't stand
invitationals, whoever the top 32 players with the most points will be in this invitation,
Oh,
and then the
move
winner
on.
of that invitational will then face
I'm
off against
rambling.
that point leader,
Wow.
and what we call the royalty of the North match.
Yeah,
I
well,
love that.
wow.
Yes.
I
So-
love that. The royalty of the North.
Yes.
Oh god.
There might be
Oh,
some
God.
trademarks on that, but
Is that really what I sound like?
Oh, yeah.
We're going
Fuck,
forward
yeah,
with
yeah.
it. We're going forward with it.
so what those players are playing for is
Oh,
a best
God.
of 5 match, and they play for 3 things.
This
Okay,
is
God.
position.
Oh,
They
yeah,
haven't
yeah,
finished yet.
So
Oh,
this is
that it?
the
Was that
Grim.
example.
Change for this because I think
yeah.
this is this position.
Oh,
They
yeah,
haven't
yeah,
finished yet.
Oh,
So this
God,
is
yeah.
the
okay,
Grim
so
Monolith.
you guys
trophy.
noticed that too?
Finished yet.
So this is the Grim
So-
Monolith trophy. Gracious.
Hang on, we will
So
change
we
for this because I
transition,
think
yeah.
this is this position.
Oh,
They
yeah,
haven't
yeah,
finished yet.
Yeah.
So the sound cuts out. And apparently it does this every single time we transition screens. And this is something like when we're doing commentary, there is so much going on, and it's really hard to keep track of everything, right? I completely forgot that we were not supposed to talk during transitions. And I don't know why this happened. I've kind of looked into it on like just Googling it and try to figure out the problem, but I couldn't really figure it out. Like not a lot of people offered many good suggestions. And sorry, I burped. But yeah, this something was just like, I don't know if it was because it's Streamlabs. Like it doesn't seem like it's Streamlabs because there's other professional streamers who use Streamlabs but don't have this problem. I don't know if it's the way that ETB has their Streamlabs set up, but this is also partially what I was testing earlier, and Pakari graciously helped me. He helped me identify that when I do my screen transitions and I am speaking right now, right, and I'm flipping through all of these, apparently I don't cut out in audio, right? If I did cut out in audio, I would sound like I'm... How do I do that? I would sound like a bad Chinese movie, right? I don't know how best to describe it. But yeah, I would basically be cutting in and out, and that's just terrible. So that's something I do really want to avoid. Why is this cutting off so weird? Stretch to screen. Huh. That's so weird. How come you can see... How come there's no cutoff in this screen, but there's cutoff... Like, why does it stretch out? Like, why do we look like MODOK? What is going on here? Oh, whoa. Let's not do that. Whatever, I'll figure it out later. We'll go back to this. Yes, technology. But yeah, these are just like my thoughts. I just really... Maybe I'm being too pessimistic. like maybe because not everything went my way, I was just like upset by it. That could be logical, but I don't know. This just looks so ugly to me, man. Like, and like it's arguable. Like, yes, like my other stuff you can probably say is ugly. Like, I don't know. What is another, like, one thing that Dave always talks about is 90s MTG. And this is like a very popular content to watch, like Paper Legacy, right? Is like this. But I understand, like, actually this is very nice. Having it on the bottom is not bad. Interesting. Yeah, this is so weird. It's basically the reverse of mine, eh? I've never actually like watched a 90s MTG video before. Yeah. Actually, I kind of like this. I don't know if I like having the bar come all the way across. But it's very much cleaner if your deck name is really long. I used to do this too. I used to put the player names or their ats at the bottom as well, like in their deck names as well. But then I was like, you know what? It's cutting into, like, it takes up more space. And it's something that I didn't want to. So I think for one of the events, like at the start of the game, like right when you start the video, it had the names in the corners, then the deck names in the corners, then the player names, and then underneath it would have the pips. And then approximately 20 seconds in, the player names would disappear, and then it would only leave their deck names and the pips. That is something I would really like to do. But it takes a really long time to just do that. But yeah. I'm a one-man production, don't be too hard. Okay, so here's the thing. A lot of people say this. And I understand the sentiment, and I do appreciate it because it is very empathetic. But if I'm not hard on myself, then I will not improve. And I am not one who is okay with mediocrity. And unless I heavily critique and I am hard on myself, then I won't improve. And that is not something that I can be satisfied with. Like, I am not satisfied with mediocrity is where I'm getting at. And I understand. So many people tell me that they don't like the chat here. I understand what Chris is doing, right? It's easy YouTube content, and it's like what other streamers do as well. But yeah, it's like if you're interacting with chat, it's two subtypes of the same content, right? Like, we both do Paper Legacy content, but his is more of a stream interaction, whereas mine is much, much more commentary focused, right? And there's pluses and minuses to both. Whether or not, like, I would assume, because I stepped back from, like, we kind of had the reverse, right? I won't say we had the reverse. I had the reverse. As I started on Twitch, I first was doing what Chris was doing, right? Chris Benucci here, was I would record content and I would watch the footage during my streams and do live commentary on those games. And the reason why I started with that was because I was streaming already, but I was streaming to, like, I was like more of a variety streamer, right? again, not huge, not even big, like probably I wouldn't even say small, right? I was kind of just streaming to like maximum 12 people. But I was doing like Dark Souls, I was doing, I don't know, Genshin, the Kingdom Hearts, like whatever video game I was playing at the time, I would just flip on the stream and I would stick to that stream schedule, right? And the entire time I was like, well, I want to do Magic content, I want to do Magic content. And sometimes we would have Tomer from MTG Goldfish, and he'd play Commander games. And I was like, well, Tomer is like super, super busy all the time. I can't rely on him, and I can't have, you know, Commander be my main focus of Magic content, because it's like the market is so saturated, right? Like I don't specifically bring anything special. I don't think I bring anything special to Magic content. In terms of Magic, like there's nothing special that I could do, right? Like I don't brew decks, I don't tune decks, I'm not a competitive player. Like our games are only half interesting. I like it's like whatever. Like we treat it as like more of a pastime than anything, right? And I was like, well, I don't want that form of content, right? I don't want that to be the Magic content that I do on my channel. So I was like, you know what? We'll do Legacy. So that's how it started. But then another streamer commented, and they're like, well, we want to do a purely analytical thing, and it was because we were featuring Black Saga Storm, and he was like, well, I want to watch this gameplay and I want to analyze it, right? So he does what Sajam does with fighting games, is he did like a deep analysis, like he did analysis commentary on my video, and in like while he was streaming, and one of the comments he made was, when he's doing that analytical stint, the chat is the monthly like achievements, the goals, the like all of the pieces of UI, they take away from the viewer experience and the analytical experience. And if I didn't want to focus so much on commentary and focus so much on the game, I wouldn't have cared. I would have just been like, you know what? It's so easy. I can just stream, cut up my stream and post it on YouTube. That's it. But I didn't want to do that, right? I wanted to be like, okay, well, this guy is like pretty known in the community. If he's gonna watch my videos, like why would I not try to make his experience to share my content that much more enjoyable, right? And that's why I made the switch, and it's been a lot easier, you know. There's other factors too, like I don't want to keep like a schedule, like a strict schedule of content, right? Like I'm not a content creator, and I never will be a content creator first. But yeah, that's why I decided that I wanted to be much cleaner, right? If we go back, I should just open other tabs, right? Fuck. That's why I decided to go much cleaner. Like even like this is like a flashback, right? This is like a highlight clip. The only thing that I added, the only thing that's different, is this bottom bar at the bottom telling you like who's the voice you're hearing now, when, like what event is this, and who are the players, right? And then if you really want to watch this, oh, I should turn off my camera for this. So if you really wanted to watch this, where the original clip came from, if you want to watch the full thing, the bottom right hand corner has the date that the video was posted. So you can easily go to my channel, search by date posted, find the video, and it's that exact video, right? That's why that date is there. But yeah, so basically every element of UI needs to be there for a reason, and it needs to be where it is for a specific reason, right? And if I take that mentality, there's no reason why Pavel's name should be this far into the screen. So it needs to be undone. Oh, sorry, I missed your message, Takari. I get that, but I don't think you can apply all those changes at once. Here's the thing, that I can. The problem was that I wasn't able... Wow, that's so contradictory. I don't know how to explain it. Basically, they didn't give me full control, and I had to work through someone else. And they basically wouldn't let me put a reset button. My ideal situation, and I understand why they didn't do this, is you create a new... I don't know if I can do this live. If you look at this... Okay, I'll keep it kind of small. I don't know how much of this you can see if it's this small. But basically what I mean is like they don't use OBS and they use Streamlabs, right? But if you go here under like scene collection in OBS, I wanted to just create a new one and it would create an entirely blank scene collection and source collection. It doesn't change anything in the ones that you already have existing. I just wanted them to make me a new one and just let me work within that. That would have been like my most ideal situation, because then I would like, because in theirs is like I don't want to go into their stuff and be like, this needs to be changed, this needs to be moved, this needs to be here, this needs to be there, this can't be there, we don't need that, this needs to be like this, right? Like I would be changing the entire way they do things, and I don't want to do that, right? Because they have their things set in specific ways. If you just gave me like a scene, like a scene collection, I literally would only have 4 scenes or 5 scenes, right? I would have intro screen, right? Like an introductory, like I think if you watch the video, they have the shield and the laser beam and it engraved. It has like it's a really nice introduction screen, right? That would be scene number 1. Scene number 2 would be the commentator screen, right? Commentator screen would be Will and I. It would have, okay, this is another big thing. This is, oh, sorry. Here, we can watch the intro. Like this. That might be too loud. Here, we'll put it like this. How far into the future is it? Oops. Is it playing? I can't tell. Wait, do I miss it? What the heck? Maybe I'm not far enough. Yeah, okay, here. This is such a sick introduction, right? This intro is so cool. But it's not their new logo either, right? Actually, is it their new logo? This might be their new logo. It is their new logo. They don't have the staff anymore. Instead of it being like a cross, it's like a single dagger through. But like, what the hell is this screen?
Okay, we are back. Thank you very much. It was a bit of...
I'm gonna rewind. Like, for how long did we have this blank screen for? Right? This is 2027, so 2020. For almost for like 10 seconds, almost 15 seconds. It was a blank screen. Like that. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but as a viewer, if I saw that, if I was sitting there for 10 seconds not looking at anything, I would click away. Honestly, I would have clicked away. If there was like the get ready sign or sit tight, like how I have in like my my beginning, right? Like my opening screen, I have like this. Like if it was just like this, I'd be like, okay, I'll go do something, right? Like I don't know how long that screen is gonna last for, and I don't know if I'm frozen, right? Like if like I watch it again, oops, right? If I'm watching, oh hold on, I didn't transition. What is it? Is it this one? Yeah. So if I'm watching, right? There's nothing telling me that this is not a frozen screen. This looks like a frozen screen to me. I'm like, okay, well, it's buffering. Let me refresh this, right? There's nothing indicating to me that everything's working properly until this happens, right? And then even this screen alone, this red bar, if you're going from this screen to this screen, like, why doesn't this have the pattern of the logo behind it? Right? And I understand that, again, all of this I understand is very nitpicky, but this is also marketing and advertising, right? I'm trying, like, as a partner, I'm trying to do my best to advertise Enter the Battlefield, right? Sure, we have ETB Canada here, but looking at this just like dreary red bar of nothing, it's, again, it's kind of ugly. So I want to add like a pattern here. It doesn't take away from the rest of the wording. I don't believe it does, right? Because it's tested here, right? The watermark, it doesn't interrupt any of the text elements. So it should be applied down here. And then again, all of these are not the same size. Like, I don't, like, ETB, or not ETB, YouTube logo round, right? Like, how easy was it to find this image and match it to Facebook and X? Or you could probably find Facebook, X, and YouTube all in the shape of the... Can you find like a round Instagram? Oh no, Instagram logo round, right? Like, I don't know, I don't know. It's just like intentionally not done well, and it's like, it's such an like this. And if you're saying like this couldn't be changed all at once, it could definitely be changed all at once. I don't know why it was not changed all at once. Like, why was it not? I don't know. I don't know. And then even this, like, this was Will's like little quirk to put like our middle, our like monikers, online monikers or screen names. It's kind of cheesy. I would have just rather my full, like, just lazy MTG or just my name. One or the other is fine. It takes up too much room. It's too big. It's too inconsistent. Like, why is my name so much larger than Will's? And why is ETB Canada, like, ETB Canada should be centered and then all of the logos underneath it or above it. I don't know. It's just like very like simple like UI management or UI organization. But this is something I tried to do beforehand. I know mine is also very ugly, where it just has lazy MTG. Yes, I understand that was ugly. I was like 15, 20 minutes before, I was like, oh, how do I implement this? Right? Like how I have the tiled pattern here. I was trying to do this for the stream, but I couldn't figure out how to do it. And it was stressing me out, and I don't know, OBS is so hard and simple. I don't know, it's simple and hard at the same time. But I got it to do like the changing colors thing. I don't know, it makes me really happy to see this. Like, it's so simple, it's so nice, it's so clean. I don't know, let me know what you guys think about it, because looking at it now, I think it's okay as like a wallpaper, but I think it might be too visually loud. I think there might be too many of them. So let me know. The problem is like I can't keep the same size of the lazy MTG without having this many. So in order for them to be this size, there has to be this many. If I were to go bigger, or if I were to make it so that there's less of the logos, they would have to be bigger. And I don't know how that would look. So I'd have to play around with it some more. But yeah, I think it's okay. Yeah, so hold on. I'm gonna switch this because I think they're not dying, but it's Oh, I should have muted before I started doing this. Okay, hold on. Okay, everybody, we're back. So we are back to the desk microphone. Yeah. Wow, this was so ugly. This was like way back in the day. Wow. What is this? This is August 26th. I think this is the first invitational we ever did. The summer invitational, where I tried to put the pips over the life pad. Ugh. This is so ugly. This is so bad. How anyone let me get away with this was like, you guys are nuts. This is so bad. So one thing that one thing I really, really do like is like looking at the 90s MTG stuff and having like all of this information on the bottom, having the deck name at the bottom, having the pip counter at the bottom, having the life total at the bottom. I kind of liked how it looked, don't get me wrong. But if I were to use my clips for the future, I think I need to keep them at the top. Let me know how you guys feel about that. If you like the names at the top. Names at the top opposed to names at the bottom. Because having this highlight reel at the bottom makes so much more sense. Right? Actually, I don't know. Is there like, I don't know, best MTG plays of all time? Greatest moments, 1,000,000 to 1. Yeah, so they have information at the bottom. But this is different though, because this is just snips and clippets together, and there's no additional UI elements, right? So all of this was taken all in one, right? So this is all one recording. There's nothing been added to this, right? Oh, this is not what I wanted though. Sorry. Maybe this? Wow, 10 years ago. Hopefully. No, because this is more podcast, right? Wow, okay. I forgot about this. So the way they used to do it before was they would have all the information on the bottom. Huh. Is this better? This is very nostalgic. So here's the thing. This is how they originally did it. I don't know how far back they did, like this was their template or their preference. But is this better? I would assume no. Because if it was better, it would still be used to this day. So this was the standard at the time, right? Right? The Pro Tour standard. It has... Is this the position that they're in? Their seed? Like Gabriel Nassif is in 4th place and Orsini Jones is 7th? Is that what that means? See, this is what I mean by I want to make the viewers experience as clean as possible, right? Again, all of the elements are here, right? Deck name, Mud, Sneak Show, player pips. This is a little confusing. I understand that now. But we've upgraded, right? Life totals, fine. Again, commentators there, name of the event, and like what the clip is, names of the players, date of where you can find it. Sure. If any of that is confusing, please let me know, and I will try to make it cleaner and more understandable. I will not change it unless someone says that is confusing. And please, if it is confusing, I take it as feedback and creative criticism, and I will take it into account. Whether or not it changes will be a different story, right? Anyway, that's another note. My main note is I have no idea what these two numbers are. There's nothing indicating what these two numbers mean, unless you're already enfranchised and you know what it is. I have no idea what it is, and I'm an enfranchised Magic player. And yes, I didn't watch this far back because I don't even think I was interested in Magic, but like this makes sense to me, right? Like life totals. I assume that this is life totals because it has a poison counter here. There's no reason that this would be a life total. It's a poison counter, so that means this should be a life total counter, right? But then here, it's like, oh, maybe this is their life. If this is their life, oh, it is their life because it changed. Oh, maybe I made my judgment too quick because I wasn't watching the video and I was just clicking. Okay, so this is life total. This is round count. So I guess my argument still stands. I don't know what these numbers are representing from initial thoughts, right? And I guess this is just limitations of technology at the time. But whatever. We'll go further. This is a little bit more clear, right? You have all. I guess it's very similar, but the round count is a little bit more identifiable. So because I know that this is round count, I'm more likely to assume that this is life total because there's no other deterministic factors of who's winning other than young Paolo's face. Oh, if this was just higher dev. Maybe we ask Paolo. If I ever get to interview Paolo for anything, I'll ask him to recreate this face. Oh, that's funny. Maybe we make this an emote. Oh, that's funny. Am I weird? I think I'm weird. Anyway, let's... What was I initially... Okay, so none of these are achieving what I initially thought because this is more of a podcast style interview. I'm looking for like a Watch Mojo top list. I don't know. Can we do... Has Watch Mojo... There's no way that Magic is big enough for Watch Mojo to do this, right? Maybe this has it. Yeah, it doesn't look like they do. Actually, it's kind of like this, but there's just less information. Maybe if it's just... If I just do... Let's just do like a simple Watch Mojo video. Did they just start into it? This is just... I guess all of their stuff is like relatively cleaner or less informative. So basically what I was getting at is like they have these clips rolling, right? Like they have like just a smattering of clips. It goes from like what is this, Nier? It goes from Nier to their page to the first game. First game, Pong shows up, has the number that it's listed as, and whatever information else is needed, but then everything else is narrated. That's kind of similar to this here, but theirs is also at the bottom. I was hoping that it would show up at the top and it would have information scrolling across the entire top for like X amount of time. Anywho, I'm getting too sidetracked, but yeah, for me, it just makes more sense to have the additional information along the bottom opposed to at the top. I don't know. Yeah, it just kind of makes more sense to me. Okay. I think this is what I'll do. I'm going to take like a 5-minute break. When I come back, we'll watch one video. We'll watch one thing of Legacy, and then I'll probably call it a night because I've basically tested everything that I've wanted to. And you can kind of tell, like, I have like my secondary PC here, and I was just testing things out. And there was one... Actually, is there... There are a couple of announcements I wanted to make, but Yeah, I'll do the announcements after I come back. But basically, no, I'll just do it all when I get back. Okay, we'll do a 5-minute break. Do whatever you need to do, and then I'll see you in 5 minutes. Okie dokie. It's break time. Oh god, this has my old logo. Okay, we'll be back. Poof. What good timing. Okay. So the couple of things I wanted to announce was that April. I mentioned earlier that the last 1K that we recorded, there was a lot of technical difficulties. So I don't know why or what caused it, but all of the footage was like running at like 5 frames per second. It was so freezy, but the audio was crisp and fine. Obviously that doesn't matter because we cut all the audio anyway. So all we're left with is broken footage. So do I even want to do anything with that event? It's like, it doesn't, I don't want to say it doesn't matter. It for sure matters because it is a 1K, but it was one of our smaller turnouts. April is a break month for Legacy of the North, and I really, this is kind of a negative impact that we've had with running this community, is that we don't want it so that if stores through events during the break months, which are April, August, and December, if a store were to schedule an event in that month, we don't not want people to show up, right? Like, it's really sad to know that if a store wants to throw like a 1K, the most reliable part is like if it's part of Legacy of the North and if it accounts for points. That's not what we want, right? Obviously, our goal is to achieve consistency and have a consistent turnout for these older formats, and if they're consistently large, that is probably the best outcome. Consistently small, although consistent is also very bad. Yeah, that's kind of like a negative impact that we've had on the community, is because we're on a break month and not as many people showed up. To them, it didn't matter as much. And I don't want to toot our own horn and say, yes, it doesn't matter as much, but it does matter. It matters just as much, right? Because if you don't show up for those events, then a store might see it, and if they have like very little knowledge of what we're doing here, then they will just be like, oh well, there's a Legacy event didn't do well in this month. We just won't do it next month, and then that's miserable because in the next month it's not a break month. It does count for points, and we do want that 1K. So I understand that it's a lot of events going on in a year, and it attributes to burnout, which I fully understand, but yeah, just something that we do realize is a negative impact. I forgot that I need to adjust my screen so that I can see YouTube comments. Chelsea, what do you think will happen in the BNR in May? There's a BNR in May? Specifically for Legacy? If it is specifically for Legacy, then I don't know. I hope that they change Sticker Goblin so that it functions as Moto. I hope that you don't need stickers and you could just roll a 6-sided die. Yes, exclamation point. Honestly, I think that's the only change I would make. I don't think I need anything else. Okay, so before we watch this Legacy footage, let's just have a quick look. Because I actually, it's been a while since I've looked at the BNR. Is there anything that you're hoping that would change? Banned and restricted list of Legacy MTG. Oh, Ancestral Recall. Oh, wait. We should look at the official. What do I want to happen? What do I want to happen? Again, are we strictly speaking modern, or sorry, legacy? Or are we speaking like all formats? So these are modern. That's vintage. Wait, where's legacy? How does it go from modern band cards to vintage band cards? Get your shit together, Wizards. Okay. So 25 a conspiracy, 9 cards for anti. That's fine. Okay, Ancestral Recall, obviously banned. Arkham's Astrolabe, banned. Balance, banned. Bazaar, banned. Black Lotus, banned. Channel, banned. Chaos Orb, banned. DRS, I think, can come off. Is it true, though? I actually don't think this is true. The problem is what I want to happen will never happen regarding DRS. When it comes to DRS, my wish is that it was a green card that kept its ability. If you guys are not familiar with Deathrite Shaman. Deathrite Shaman. So if you're unfamiliar with this card, that means you are extremely new, and most of this will not matter to you. But, wow, this card is really small. Can we get a bigger card, please? That's just as small. Is it images? Can I go to images? Hold on, I'm not even sharing my screen. I'm such a noob. How do you guys bear with me? Boom. Okay, so if this card... So my biggest problem with this card is right here, this mana cost. This allows it to go into so many decks, and I think that's the problem, right? It can go into any black deck, and it can go into any green deck. Its commitment is so like small. Is that the right way to describe it? It's such high impact for low commitment cost, is what I mean, right? What I mean is that, so in my ideal world, there's no ban or unban for Deathrite, but there's a functional reprint. Now, functional reprint is, this stays like a solid green mana. The exile target land card is a little bit toxic, but I think that's fine. It's like a source of green graveyard hate in the main board. I think that's okay. This part specifically, all of this text can stay, but if this was a red mana cost. This was a red and tap it, you exile target instants or sorcery, and you burn them for 2. And then the green can stay. Actually, no, this should be black. Yeah, if you exile target creature card, you gain 2 life. He loves small commitment. Yeah. Ban Grief so we don't have to see it in every other deck. Yeah, that's true. We'll get there. Demonic Consultation. This card's banned. Wait, what? Steven, did you play this card? Didn't you play this in the Thassa's Oracle deck? Or was there a different card that does the same thing? Yes, it is so good. But you can't play it, it's banned! Wait, am I missing something? Oh, yeah. Okay, you were playing Saints of Path. It's basically the same. Okay, Demonic Consultation can stay banned. Demonic Tutor can stay banned. Dig Through Time can stay banned. Arcanist can stay banned. Earthcraft can stay banned. Iteration can stay banned. Yeah, all of these, I think, can stay banned. Gitaxian Probes, stay banned. Well, actually, Goblin Recruiter? What's Goblin Recruiter? Goblin Recruiter. Is it just Recruiter, but for goblins? When Goblin Recruiter comes into play, search your library for any number of... What is Earthcraft? Earthcraft is, I believe, tap a creature to untap a land. It goes infinite with Squirrel's Nest. Right? Yeah, tap an untap creature you control, untap target basic land. So what you do is you can put it onto like a forest, and then you play Squirrel's Nest, and Squirrel's Nest says you can. It's an enchantment aura where you enchant a land. You can tap that land to make a 1/1 squirrel. But yeah, I can go infinite with something like what's it called? Intruder Alarm. Whenever a creature enters a battlefield, you untap all other creatures. So yeah, it's like Earthcraft is basically just an infinite token generator. Or it gives way for infinite combos. So yeah, Frantic Search is a free way to fill the graveyard, which we know is already very powerful. That can stay banned. Get Probe is the most free card you could possibly play. Can stay banned. Goblin Recruiter, with the rise of Sticker Goblin, I think can stay banned. Gush is toxic. Hermit Druid. I don't even know what this card does. Hermit Druid. What is this? All right, old man. Reveal cards to this. Nope, this card is banned. Imperial Seal. Isn't this like 3 mana? No, it's 1 mana, right? But it's sorcery speed. Yeah. Search your library for any card, then you shuffle. Yeah, it's sorry, Vampiric Tutor, but sorcery speed. That's stay bannable. Alexandria. Is this good? What is I means K's it when it was legal? Wait, what did you mean by I means K's it? Kayas? I'm not sure what you mean. Okay, Library of Alexandria is bad but reserve list. Okay, sure. Yeah, that's true. Lurrus of the Dream Den can stay banned. Mana Crypt banned, obviously. Mana Vault. Mana Vault, I think, is not terrible. Actually, no, it's just a better Grim Monolith, right? We can keep that banned. Mana Drain. People were making arguments that Mana Drain could come off the ban list. Is my real name Benjamin? Yes, my real name is Benjamin. It is Benjamin. We're jamming all day long. Yeah. What do you guys think about Mana Drain? I think Mana Drain can be unbanned. Like, the only person that I know who plays 2 mana counterspell is Richard Matuzio. And he only plays a 1/of and blue-white control. Because, like, the mana that it returns to you is kind of negligible. Like, it's not even colored. Chelsea thinks it can be unbanned. This one I'm indifferent about. This one is like, okay, if you unban it, I don't think it really does anything. But if you leave it banned, I also don't think it really matters. It could be one of those cards, it's like, it's so negligible that it's like it doesn't make a difference of whether or not it's on it. Yeah, I think that's my fair evaluation, is like, I could care less about it. I couldn't care less about it. Mana Vaults, again, just a more busted Gem Monolith. Memory Jar. Obvious. I think there's like crazy things that you can do with it, and apparently it almost ended competitive Magic, so we'll leave that banned. Mental Misstep is Toxic AF. Mind Twist. What is Mind Twist? Mind Twistar. Twist. What the hell? This is the shittiest artwork ever. He holding a bag over his head? Is there a better card I can look at? This one? Target player discards X cards at busted. Mishra's Workshop busted. Moxen busted. Mystical Tutor. I think this is to keep Storm in check, right? I don't know. There's still crazy things that you could do, and it's like one thing. It's like it's super limiting, right? This is one of those cards that's very similar to Mox Opal or Fast Mana in general. Is like if you're to unban this card, you have to be very careful and you have to design around it and make sure that all future cards that you design can't make this rebannable. So right now, I can't think of a crazy way of why this should stay banned. Every Storm deck would play 4. Okay, that's good enough for me. Banned. Necropotence, banned. Oath of Druids. I played Vintage. This card's nuts. This card cannot be unbanned in Legacy. It would be badge. It would be so badge. Oko, we all know, should just be burned in a garbage fire. Ragavan is... That monkey's stupid. Sensei's is a fantastic card, but the fact that people are dumb and don't know how to use it, aka Benjamin, yeah, it should stay banned. Shahrazad. I've always pronounced this Shahrazad, but then I was listening to the Goldfish podcast, and I realized there's no A between the H and the R, so it's just Shahrazad. Shahrazad? Do you need that there? Why is Memory Jar banned? The card sucks. Apparently there's a bunch of like infinite loops that you can do with it. Want a Ben list instead of a ban list? If you wanted a Ben list, all of the artifacts would be unbanned. Yeah. If you wanted a Ben list, all of the artifacts would be unbanned. Yeah. I think that would be it. Actually, not Astrolabe. Astrolabe cannot be banned. Imagine Tinker and Jar and other fast mana. So yeah, Memory Jar. MTV. Why is it banned? Maybe someone's made a short on it. Why is Memory Jar banned? Wow, Nikachu did a whole video on it. No one's made any shorts. What good is this day and age without YouTube shorts? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe post it in the Discord and then someone can get back to you on that one, Chelsea. But apparently there's this entire 10-minute video about it. Why it's a crazy ban card. Steven says you can tinker for it immediately on turn 1. And if you think about it that way, it's like mulligans are so important. If you spend so much time doing your mulligan, you can use Memory Jar to kind of disrupt it. It was a turn 1 combo when it was released with Tolarian Academy. Okay, yeah, but Tolarian Academy is also banned in Legacy. Anyway, let's go down the list. Skull Clamp, way too efficient at card advantage. Soul Ring is kind of obvious. Strip Mine, we already have Wasteland and it's already like a crazy important card. Survival of the Fittest is actually something I think that can come off the ban list, but I think there was also an argument that someone made for it to come off the ban list. The biggest argument against it is design space, right? And we've seen this huge push from Wizards of the Coast to make creatures much, much better. So this will just make toolbox decks really, really easy, and creature combo decks will most likely become a little bit more prevalent. This is just vintage. That's true. Yeah, no, that's true. Benzless is vintage, because if I had the means to play vintage, I would definitely be playing shops. And it wouldn't even be like turbo shops. It would be like stacks shops. Yeah. If they're banning one-shot tutor effects, what? No way. Repeatable tutor effects need to be stay banned. That's true. You do make a good point. If they're banning Mystical Tutor and what's it called? Imperial Seal. Is that what it was? Imperial Seal? Yeah, Imperial Seal and what's it called? Demonic Tutor. If they're banning those, then Survival of the Fittest can't be here. Zerda, we'll get there. Time Vault is way too busted with any of the keys. Time Walk is, power 9. Time Twister is also power 9. Wait. Am I thinking of the wrong card? Time Twister. Oh yeah, it is power 9. Wait. Oh, I'm thinking of Commander, aren't I? Time Twister is the only power 9 card that's not banned in Commander, right? Because I was like, Glenn has one. Why would Glenn have one if he can't play it in Legacy? I think it's because it's Commander, right? You can play it in CDH. Whatever. Tinker's banned, obviously. Tolarian Academy also banned. Treasure Cruise banned. Underworld Breach also banned. These are all just crazy well, not Treasure Cruise, but Tinker, Tolarian Academy, Underworld Breach, they're all crazy combo cards. Treasure Cruise would push Delver over the edge. Vampiric Tutor is also one of those other one-shot tutor effects that we said was too good. Wheel of Fortune. I think it's just too efficient, right? If you're a Goblins deck, you just go all in, and then for 3 mana, like it's technically a Mountain and like Ancient Tomb, you just Wheel of Fortune, draw 7 cards. That'd be really, really strong. White Plume Adventure, we already know what this KKK member did. Windfall, very similar to Wheel of Fortune. Ren and 6 was crazy good with Wasteland. Yawgmoth's Bargain, we can already see what Gaia's Will is doing to the format. Sorry. Yawgmoth's Will is what's Gaia's Will. Yawgmoth's Bargain is just crazy, insane. I pay my entire life to draw so many cards. So this is just crazy amounts, insane amounts of draw power. Yawgmoth's Will is crazy amount of resource acquisition. And then Zerda the Dawnwaker is an infinite combo with Grim Monolith and Basalt Monolith. So Zerda is it's a companion. So it says like all permanents on your side of the battlefield, they have like 2 less activation cost. Can I get a bigger picture, please? There we go. Can I get a bigger picture in English? There we go. This one. Yeah, so it costs 2 less to activate. You can easily have this by each of your permanents has an activated ability. It's very easy to break artifacts with this card. So basically with Grim Monolith or Basalt Monolith, like you can activate the Grim Monolith to generate 3 mana. Its untap ability will only be 2, right? Because it costs 4 to untap, I believe. Or maybe it costs 4 to untap, I think. Because I think Basalt Monolith is 3 mana, generate 3, untap it for 3. Anyway, and one of the Basalt Monoliths, you can generate infinite colorless mana, and then you can play whatever you want. Right? It'll be like Eldrazi or something. But yeah, it was just so easy because it's a card that always starts in your opening hand in that kind of deck, and you have to be very careful around companions. So yeah. Honestly, I think the ban list is fine. I don't think anything can strictly come off without impacting greatly, other than like mana drain. Like looking at it, it's like I can make an argument to keep everything on it. I don't know. Survival, I'm still like 60-40. Like 60, it can stay banned. 40, it can come off. Oh yeah, you can play 3 Zerda in your companion. Yeah, that's really dumb, right? The fact that it has its own activated ability, so you can play it in its own deck that it's a companion for, is actually like crazy. I never actually thought of that. That's crazy, Steven. That's a good call. But yeah, also he's a cute fox. Like, who wouldn't want this? This is adorable. This person like altered a Vulpix onto it. So Amaterasu. Okay, we're getting sidetracked. Whatever. Okay, yeah. That's my Whether or not I would want anything banned, probably not. I actually think Legacy is pretty healthy, although it is kind of getting a little bit stale. Right? Like if you were to look at the top decks, there's a lot of black, right? Actually, it's pretty widespread. Whoa, Epic Storm jumped up quite a bit. It used to be like down here. But Tess is up here now. Nice. Selesnya Depths has black in it. For Bowmaster. Yikes. Do I like Cowboys? I'm indifferent. If this is leading to... Oh yeah, we forgot about Grief. So here's my problem with Grief, is I like that Reanimator benefits greatly from it. What I don't like is that how do I explain it? I don't like blue-black Reanimator. I like red-black Reanimator. And the reason is because red-black was basically a super fast turn 1 combo deck that in the post board, you can switch into a mid-range game plan with Dauthi Voidwalkers and Griefs. That was what I really, really liked. But I guess you could still technically do the same. It's just not to a greater extent if you ban Grief, because you still have Unmask. Okay, no, Steven's convinced me. We can ban Grief. I would definitely ban Grief. It's just so unfun to play against. Like, if you have like a 6-7, and you're like, oh, Snapkeep, this guy's gonna die, and they go Grief, reanimate Grief, take your 2 best card, and now your hand is non-functional, that's so abysmal, man. That's so sucky. There's no other way of putting it other than this so sucky. I think that's the best way of describing it. It's just so sucky. I don't know. It's like the only way I can describe it is, oh, good grief. I mean, yeah, you get what I mean. Pun non intended. But yeah, other than that, everything else is pretty solid. If you're playing heavy black, it's auto include. Even if you're playing light black, it's almost like a auto include. Right? Like, it's gotten to the point where it's like, I have some black, I might as well just fit more black. Yeah, it's super sucky. But yeah, I don't know. I think Legacy, all in all, if you take out Grief, would be pretty healthy. I know a lot of people hate Bowmaster, and don't get me wrong, I really, really hate Bowmaster too, because I finally got my 4th Force of Will foil, and just 8 cast is so bad. Like, the only good cards in it are Patchwork Automaton, and that's so sad to hear. Yeah, I don't know, like, it just, that deck dies so easily to Bowmaster. Yeah, I don't know, maybe... Like, the good thing about Bowmaster is it keeps crazy cantrip decks under control. But then, it's like, if you want to explore and do, like, crazy janky stuff, you're extremely limited now. I think that's my overall perspective. Like, this is more of like a mana drain. It's not a mana drain thing. Right? I don't think like, if you unbanned Mana Drain, I think the format wouldn't really be impacted. But if you were to ban Bowmaster, the format would be heavily impacted. But I think my feelings would be the same. Right? Because of the decks that I play, I don't think I would care too much if Bowmaster was banned, but I'm also like okay with him staying unbanned, right? Because I'm like I play lands, like I don't care about Bowmaster. Actually, if anything, I've been fitting Bowmasters into my lands lists. That actually could be a big sign for toxicity, but yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, let's go watch a game of Legacy before we sign off. So I think this is I think for posterity's sake. Yeah, Bowmaster also invalidates most X1s, which kind of sucks. Yeah, this is what I meant by like if you wanted to play like crazy janky stuff, like your options become much more limited because so many people like playing Noble Hierarch or like Thalias or like just random X1s, right? Because it's like it puts you on like an aggressive game plan strategy. And it's just so hard to do that with Bowmasters in the format. Okay, I think for posterity's sake, I'm going to remove the chat box and the event list. So we're gonna remove this, and we're going to remove this. I think that's cleaner. I think what I'll also do, just for now, whoa, that's not what I wanted to do, is this. I think we'll do this. I don't think I'll interrupt too much of the game, right? Nah, Dave doesn't need that much space. I'm assuming it's Dave because he's the only one that wears this colored dress shirt that I've ever seen in my life. And this is definitely Fernando because he's using the Megumin mat. Okay, let's watch this game. We haven't done one of these in a long time. It's gonna be a live commentary. I've never seen this match, but this is a nice segue into something that I wanted to do. Is I am working on different forms of content, and I've been posting a lot of what we're used to, which is like my post commentary edits, and it's gotten to have like a very serious vibe to it. So the content that I'm working on now is more casual. And it's something that it's something more to be watched and listened to, because so one thing that someone brought up in the Discord server was that sometimes my analytical can drag on a little bit long, and that's because how do I describe it? I'm gearing it more towards an audience that I know more listens to the content rather than views it. So I try to make the audio a little bit more comprehensive and a little bit more detailed than the visuals. And having a clean visual slate is absolutely fine. And it's something that I aim towards, just because if there's too much clutter, then it gets really unappealing. But sometimes the commentary won't exactly align with what's happening on the screen, and I think that's okay because majority of the audience listens to the content rather than watches it as well. So I tried to tend to treat it. My commentary, I treat it more like I'm on a radio sportscast rather than a TV sportscast. Wow, okay, Dave's starting off with a Leyline of the Void. I think this is his new Storm Brew, but Fernando, I was assuming, was on Burn, but looking at his hand, there's a Force of Will. Looks like he's not. I assumed he was going to be on Burn because he is using that Megumin mat. Whenever he does use a Megumin mat, he's usually playing Burn because, you know, Big burn, go big boom. But yeah, Dave starting off with Leyline of the Void. Probably gonna be. Why would you have this in main deck? He has to have a Helm of Obedience. Is there another card that combos similarly to Helm of Obedience with Leyline of the Void? I don't think so. There's no other reason to have it. Maybe he's playing Grey Merchant of Ass. Gary of the Ass. He's playing Mono Black Devotion. I wonder if that deck could work. He's channeling his inner Jeff. We don't talk about that guy anymore, man. That guy has not existed for so long. I don't even know where he is. Is he even in the country? Alright, Fernando resolving a Ponder. Looks like we are looking at a Veil of Summer, Tropical Island, and a Brainstorm. Looks like he's putting Brainstorm closest to the middle of his deck. I lied. I lied again. My second lie undid the first lie. Oh, we're lost. Okay, looks like he wants to draw the Tropical Island. This guy's been on vacation for like a month. I don't know. My timeline is very skewed. I don't even know what day it is. I don't know what day it is. Yes, Chelsea, how can I help you? What are you confused about? All right, Fernando resolves the Ponder, draws the Tropical Island. Dave gonna draw for his turn. Draw some random card that I have no idea what it is. Thanks, Wizards. We love you for all these random card arts. Looks like that is a Lotus Petal. And it's hilarious. You guys, okay, so when I do commentary, you guys, like, I'm not on the screen, but now you can see my mannerisms when I do commentary. Is like when I can't see a card, I'll like lean in closer as if it gets better. But I don't think it does. All right, Dave deep in the tank. Looks like there is so much glare on his cards. I have no idea what they are. That is a Agadeem's land. Wow, pays 5 life. So the Agadeem, I think the front side is Crypt of Agadeem. I don't know what the land side is called, so I'm just gonna call it the land of Agadeem. But basically it's a lightning bolt land. Wait, what just happened? Why is Fernando shuffling? Wait, I missed it. I'm gonna rewind. Okay, here. Agadeem. Oh, it was a Blightsteel. Wait, why is he shuffling the deck? It gets exiled. So Thoughtseize. He can't. It gets exiled, right? Am I wrong? Steven, I need a knowledge check. Alright, so Dave definitely playing Storm. Gets out of Storm. Blightsteel never hits the yard. Yeah, so it should not shuffle, right? Fernando is a cheater. Cheat. Okay, cracking LED. So Dave discards. I have no idea what that bottom card is. That one's a Bowmaster. Flashing back Echoes of Eon. Okie dokie. Why did Dave point at the Ponder? Blightsteel gets shuffled. It never hits the graveyard. There's a replacement effect on Blightsteel, so you can't reanimate it. What? Oh, so the way that I'm interpreting this is because Blightsteel says if this were to go into your graveyard, you shuffle it into the library instead. And there's 2 replacement trigger. There's two replacement effects, right? There's the Leyline and the Blightsteel. So because Fernando is the controller of the object in question, he can choose how the stack interacts. So he would choose to use the Blightsteel replacement effect rather than the Leyline effect. Right? Where's Trevor when you need him while he's playing Magic? He's playing face-to-face. Well, let me know if I'm wrong. Wow, okay, well, we found the Hum of Obedience from Dave. He has no land drops left to make. There's a Mox Opal, but does not have Metalcraft. Not a problem, he has another Lotus Petal, so now he has 3 mana. So, what can he do from here? What is that card? Dark Ritual? No, another Thoughtseize. I'm never wrong. That's not true. I am very wrong very frequently. Just ask Lyle. Wow, interesting. Fernando thinking really hard about this Thoughtseize. I think we're going to see a Force of Will. Just let it happen, man. You're going to die anyway. I wonder what is that another LED in Dave's hand? If he has another LED, there's nothing else that he could do though, right? Unless he has another Echoes. What's the Storm count at? 2, 4. Oh, whoa, holy crap. 2, 4, 6, 8. He doesn't have enough mana to Helm of Obedience. Did I ever answer if I like Cowboys? Yeah. I kind of gave you a wishy-washy answer. I was very indifferent about it. Like, it depends on where you go with this question. Ooh, Entomb for Echo of Eons for another LED. Okay. So now Dave is just fishing. He is now gold fishing. But he has successfully gotten a Force of Will and an Atraxa out of Fernando's deck. Oh, there's another Force of Will from Fernando! Haha, Dave! Get wrecked! He's lost this game. No cards in hand, has a disabled Mox Opal. There's an Ancient Tomb from Fernando. Wow, just gonna pass the turn. No sneak attack. There's an Emrakul in Fernando's hand. Dave just gonna draw a card, pass the turn. Fernando gonna draw for his turn. We see Emrakul, Gristlebrand, Omniscience, and Blightsteel. Maybe it was a Blightsteel and not a Gristlebrand. But yeah, when it comes to Cowboys, it really depends on what the follow-up is. I like their hats. I really liked the Ghoul in Fallout. Man, Fallout was released on Prime yesterday, and I binged the entire series. I woke up late for work. Don't tell my job. Depends on... Like, it depends... how do I explain it? Fernando is so rude. Alright. Dave searches for Echo of Eons, tries to take his turn. Fernando, instant speed, Cunning Wishes for Surgical Extraction. Cast Surgical Extraction on Echo of Eons. Gets rid of the last 2 out of the deck. Dave can no longer flash them back. He has lost all sort of his card advantage in this game. Yeah, get up, walk away, let Fernando do his stuff for like X amount of turns. What do I think of the newest Magic set? It's more... Yeah, okay, so I thought that's where you were leading to, but needed you to ask the question first. But honestly, I don't care about it. I have barely looked at it. For me, it's not so much the Cowboys are lacking. It's more of like, as of late, I don't care what Wizards is doing with Magic. This is I've been meaning to make like either a magic like a YouTube short or just a like a video, like a hate video or an outcry video, a rant video, whatever you want to call it. But the statement that I used to like, what I've been telling everybody is like, I used to say that I love Magic so much. I that's what I said in the interview with Anurag Das, and I don't think that's true anymore. Yeah, I don't think it's true anymore. As much as I used to say that I loved Magic, it's now been replaced by I love Legacy. All right, Dave tapping. He does have Metalcraft. He has Lotus Petal, Mox Opal, Vault of Whispers. Taps for 4 mana, sacrificing Opal for his whatever it's called, bargain cost. So you sacrifice a token, artifact, or enchantment, and you can upgrade the cost. Gonna find a Gaia's Will and cast it instead of adding it to his hand because he did play that bargain cost. I'm telling Fernando you said he was mean. Fernando knows he's a jerk. You can tell him that. Tell him I told him he's a dick. Fernando's a meanie. And he knows it. He's scum. Okay, so I lied. Dave, although lost all of his source of card advantage, he is now just doing random storm shenanigans. So Gaia's Will has successfully gone off. Dave gets to cast whatever he wants out of the graveyard, generate as much mana as he likes, gets to show off his the Epic Storm tokens. Oh, that's a beautiful Opal. Oh, Dave, you're making me think things with that Opal. Oh god, it's OG. It's an OG Opal. OG foil Opal. Alright, here comes Helm of Obedience. This is a 2-card combo with Leyline of the Void. As long as he has 5 mana, he can cast the Helm of Obedience for 4. Activate the Helm for X equals 1. Fernando will have to put cards into the graveyard until he mills X cards or hits a creature or X creatures, and then he takes control. Dave takes control of that creature, but none of the cards ever hit the graveyard, so it'll go infinitely. Fernando will deck out. This is a mill combo, so when it goes to Fernando's turn, he will draw with an empty library and lose the game. Am I going to ETB on Sunday? I'm not this weekend. I think next weekend I might. Yeah, this weekend is just a little crazy for me. But yeah, I don't know. Going back to what we were talking about before, I just don't like where Wizards is going. Like, I used to say, like, these cards are so sick, they're so cool. And I think it might have been because of, like, the edginess to it. And it's not that I'm a dark and edgy person. I mean, I might be. But the cards feel so memey. Everything feels like an unset. And it's like, I don't really care. I think what really turned me off was the moment, I don't remember who made the tweet or who made the post, but there was an official Wizards employee who said the products, we're making so many products, you don't have, like, what was it that he said? In layman's terms, and in terms that I can remember, he was basically saying that not all products are for everybody. And from my point of view, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. That is so stupid. That is it is so dumb. Like, why are you like intentionally dividing your players? It makes no sense. Like, from a marketing perspective, the moment he said, not from a marketing perspective, from a consumer perspective, it's like the moment you told me that, I'm like, okay, well then the direction you're going with standard, you're clearly printing it for commander players. So I'm not going to buy a new product unless it's like something I absolutely need. And so because I play Legacy, and Legacy is the main way that I play Magic, like standard very rarely has an impact, and new cards rarely have an impact on Legacy. Nothing's a necessity, so I just don't pay attention to it anymore. If anything, I'll look, like, whenever a new set comes out or there's spoilers that come out, I just kind of navigate to like the Legacy chat, browse through it really quickly. If they post pictures, I'll look at cards that they're interested in, and I'll be done with it. Like I used to like look at the entire set and like try to do analysis on what cards are good, what cards are bad, and, you know, do what normal Magic players used to do. I don't even look at them anymore. I don't even know how many sets has been released this year. If you asked me to name sets that were printed in the last, like, in 2023, I don't think I would be able to correctly name like 3. Like the only one that I know of is like March of the Machines. And that's like, that makes me so sad about like how much I just don't care anymore. Like, Commander is fun, don't get me wrong, but the way it drives prices makes no sense to me because that format is so fake. What's my least favorite Legacy deck to play against? Sneak and Show. 100 sticks. Sneak and Show. I would rather eat bananas for the rest of my life. Bananas are like, they're like delicious for a while, but if you were to eat it, like only bananas for the rest of your life, the consistency alone is just so weird. And I would rather do that for the rest of my life than play against Sneak and Show. How did we get here? What is going on? We went from how much I hate new Magic to bananas. Wait, Fernando, where's your banana mat? Banana mat. All right. I assume Fernando's going to be on the play here. Dave is up 1 game. Dave got lucky. That top deck Beseech. I guess it wasn't really lucky. He had to get the mana. Wow, both mulliganing. All right, cool. I'm going to get a drink. I'll be right back. Oh. What did I miss? If I was stranded on a desert island, which 3 Magic cards would I bring? Probably 3 forests. Could probably use 1 to kind of make like a pseudo knife. Use 1 for tinder. And what would I use the 3rd one for? Probably to eat if I needed to. Ooh. Ooh. This is a turn 1 show and tell. Looks like it's getting resolved. Orcish Bowmaster versus Atraxa. See, this is why I don't think Bowmasters needs to be banned. Fernando's about to, like, draw 5 cards, but not really drawing. Bowmaster's fair. What is that anime card that he has? I have no idea what that is. Alrighty. Sorcerer's Spyglass as an artifact Veil of Summer for an instant. Is that Omniscience? Looks like it's an Omniscience. Omniscience for enchantment. Emrakul for creature. Lorien Revealed for sorcery. I think he grabbed a Veil of Summer just for Tendrils protection. Not a bad idea. I wonder how... I guess he doesn't really need to use the Omniscience, right? He could use it as... in case he does get... Oh yeah, he gets a land. I wonder what he calls for the Sorcerer's Spyglass. Oh, he just calls Helm of Obedience, right? Man, how did both of you know it was Omniscience? You guys are weebs. Oh, I guess, okay. Oh, sorry. I guess you're not weebs. You guys just are more cultured in terms of new Magic card printings than I am. This is one thing that I find very difficult as a commentator is now it's getting really hard to tell. OG foil Chrome Mox. Oh, Dave. Dave. Holy moly. I don't even know. Oh, he exiled. Oh, the duress too. Ew, non-foil Feed the Swarm. Gross. Dave, you suck. Alright. Fernando going to cast a Veil of Summer against the Feed the Swarm. Showing the power of the wallet. It's the power of the credit card. If my friend wasn't taking $2,200 a month from me, I would be even greater down the hole. There's a Lion's Eye Diamond. Dave now handless. Fernando has a grip full of cards after playing the Atraxa. Very well positioned because he does now have a 7/7 Flying Vigilance Lifelink. Flying Vigilance Lifelink. What's the last ability he has? Flying Vigilance Lifelink. Does it have Death Touch? I think it might have Death Touch. Most powerful card in Magic is the credit card. Credit/debit. Actually, no, credit is stronger than debit card. You're right. Yes. Veil protects from Bowmasters. This is true. Veil does protect from Bowmasters. But Dave can shoot himself to increase the Orc army. Sorcerer's Spyglass, probably gonna be naming Helm of Obedience. Can't stop mana abilities, so naming Chrome Mox, Mox Diamond, they're kind of useless. The swamp is very nice, indeed. It's from Arena, right? Or Battle? What's it? There's like a special like promo land set of old border foils. I can't remember what it's called. But my judge friend that moved to, is this Seattle? San Francisco? I think it's San Francisco. Wherever Silicon Valley is. I always get the two mixed up. But he moved there and he had like a full set for his draft lands. Yeah, this is not looking good for Dave. Dave needs to win on the next turn. But can he do it? Fernando does have a Force of Will for backup on one piece. And Dave just going to scoop it up. We're going to go to a game number 3. What's up, Skeet? Skeetch? Skeetj? Sketch? Ski TJ? Skeetj? Ski Jitty? Oh my god, you're the lost Jitty, aren't you? Did I stream your game? No. I did not. I didn't because this is the only game that we watched. And it's going to be the only game that we watch. I spent a lot of the time talking about technical stuff, and I spent like the first little bit, I'd probably say like 30 minutes. I think I spent around like 30 minutes talking about or testing microphones and stuff. It was like testing microphones, testing screen transitions, and making sure audio was not cutting out. Basically stuff that could go wrong if I were to like. Basically, I'm getting ready to stream the spring invitational on the 27th. I spoke to Chris very briefly, and I I basically said that the first stream was awful, and he thought I was being very harsh, and I don't think he liked that. But you know what? It was my opinion. I thought it was fucking terrible, and I want to make it better. So, yeah. I proposed as an idea if I could just bring all of my own equipment and use some of theirs. Basically, the only thing that I would need is a place for the commentators to sit, a monitor for them to watch, and that's it. I would bring everything else. Whether or not he bites, it's gonna be a whole different story. If he doesn't let me use my own PC as a stream, like there's two big problems. Is if I stream off of my own system, I would need their stream key. And that is something that you do not hand out lightly. Now, the main problem I wanted to fix was to make sure that when I do something like this and kind of flip through these different screens, and all of you can confirm in the chats, both YouTube and Twitch, you guys can confirm whether or not my audio cuts out. Apparently, it was cutting out during the stream for the 1K. That's the main thing that I want to avoid. And I think it has to do with Streamlabs versus OBS Studio. Although they are both OBS, there's like the user-friendly Streamlabs, which I find is way more complex and complicated and dumbed down in so many areas that it detracts away from your total stream it detracts from your overall stream experience. It's not something that they are used to regularly using, and it's not something that they seem to be interested into switching over. Yeah. Fernando mulliganing down to 6. Shiksa! Is that racist? It's not racist, I have slanty eyes. This is what I talk about for like more casual commentary. Okay. Place your wagers, ladies and gentlemen. How fast will Dave beat this mulligan to 5? Ew. Stop scraping crud off of your sleeves. I guess this is the one downside to streaming, right? Is, I mean, I guess technically I can skip through the video, but it won't be exact and it'll look very ugly. But there's a lot of downtime, right? I think he kept a sus hand. What's the sus hand? Opal, Petal. Oh, that was way too quick. So there's an Echo, Opal, Petal, Dark Ritual, Helm. Is there a ley line? No ley lines but a Helm. Does he have a way of ditching? He has an LED, right? If he has an LED, I don't think it's terrible because he can Echo. And if he does Echo... maybe you're right. I would definitely keep a hand with Leyline over Helm. Is this from Tuesday? I think so. It's footage that Dave sent to me, so I have no idea when it's from. Because we were supposed to do a new form of content that I've been working on, but he got really busy, so we couldn't do it. So I thought, you know what, I'll just repurpose the footage. Already, we are storming off. What are we gonna get? Is he gonna generate mana? Ooh, his hand is ugly. That's bad. Okay, oh, because that's a Chromox with no imprint. Okay, triple black. For some reason, it was I thought that was a face-to-face one. Yeah, so unfortunately, okay, so I know everyone knows what happened in the finals. This has nothing to do with the finals. Something happened to the footage, and I have no idea what happened. It might have been when we were adjusting settings, like when Dave and I were adjusting settings, but the footage was basically unusable for the entire tournament. So, unfortunately, there's not going to be any face-to-face coverage. Alright, Dave going all in on this Echo of Eons. Gets it countered by a Force of Will. But he does get to play the Helm out first. Okay. Yeah, I think it was when... I adjusted some of the settings for the camera when Dave and I were doing the new form of content. So I think that had to do with it. I didn't change it. Like, basically, we upped the camera, or the video quality. And... I think it was too high for... It makes no sense, though. Maybe it was too high for me recording to an external drive. I should probably just not up quality anymore. Should keep it around, like at most, maybe I do, like, 1440 instead of, like, 4K. Yeah, I'm, like, learning my lessons. I'm trying to find, like, the threshold of, like, quality in terms of what I can actually produce. Alright. Who needs 4K for a card game? Odie. Odie made fun of my camera. Alright, Fernando going to Brainstorm. Draws Scalding Tarn, Force of Will. What is that? What is the third card that he drew? Doesn't look like he wants it anyway. Looks like he keeps the Force of Will. He actually asked... Yeah, he actually asked if I would do a sponsor. I declined. But... So here's the thing. At the time, I had, like, 0 subs. Right? I was just starting. I was streaming on Twitch to, like, almost 0 viewers. And right now, I'm still streaming to, like, just you guys. Which is fine. You know, it's fine for me. But... when we start talking about sponsors and stuff, I need to bring something to the table, and I feel like I'm not still. So I feel like once I hit, like, either the 600 threshold or the 1,000 person threshold, then I can, like, at least start offering something. Because there is something that I do want from him. I asked him... So because we have the partnership with ETB now, and if they do let me use my own equipment, then I'm going to ask Odie to see if he can build me, like, a custom mini PC. One that just runs OBS and whatever footage or whatever programs I need to run from the production side. So that's basically just going to be, like, OBS, the Logitech software, the installed camera softwares. Basically stuff that makes the stream run. Basically, like, this second computer that I have here. Except this thing weighs, like, fucking 40 pounds. But I just want, like, a small PC. I'm gonna see if he can give me a discount on that, and then maybe I'll do a sponsorship that way. So instead of him, like, giving me money, he can just give me, like, a discount, and then I'll give you guys, like, a discount code to his stuff. But we'll see what happens. I'd really like to test his stuff to see how good it is first, because I actually don't have any experience getting anything from him. But I am willing to give him a try. I don't know how much I like. I guess the this Agadeem land is actually not terrible. No, this Agadeem land is pretty shit. Because you can't cast X as 0. And X is 1, so for 4 mana, you get 1 thing back. I guess it's because you play Chrome Mox, it counts as like another land. Land. Imprinting instead of just playing the top land. Yeah, that's a weird call. Show and Tell going to resolve. There's a Ley Line of the Void against an Omniscience. I think Dave loses this game, right? Wow, Fernando sitting on 2 Force of... actually, no. Dave has win on board. I'm dumb. Dave wins! Wow! Show and Tell into death. That was a really risky play from Fernando. Wow, and even if Dave tried to cast the Ley Line of the Void, it would have been countered by all the Force of Wills. Wow. Yeah, wait, what was Fernando trying to sneak it or to show and tell in? Oh, it was the Omniscience. Yeah, that was so questionable. Omni showed sometimes it does nothing. Okay, no. Steven is more correct than you are. Sorry, Jordan. The reason why is because, like, even though you have this Omniscience in hand, this is not a payoff. Omniscience is like half a payoff. Steven's correct. Yeah. So, like, even if you have the Omniscience, you don't do anything else, right? That's true. Okay, your statement is also true. Because if you're not playing show and tell or sneaking as something in, you're still doing nothing. So yeah, sometimes you're always... Okay, wait, no, but this deck is 50-50 do nothing. It's either you do nothing or you do something. It's not like Beans where it's like do nothing, win. Oh god, I hate show and tell so much. What a stupid card. Oh, they're showing packs and stuff. Okay, so that's the one game. Coolio. Cool. Oh. Okay. I think that's where we're gonna call it for tonight. Maybe I'll make this more of a regular thing. Who knows? It's funny. Fernando got my thinking I would enjoy it again and build it and goldfished it 2 times. And you dismantled it, didn't you? The only reason I have kept my show and tell is to pray that Black-Red Reanimator comes back and I can use it as a plan B. See, I keep it and it's not even like... It's not even the princess. Right? It's the second. It plays second to the main game plan. I wonder if there's... I wonder if I could play Sneak and Show. That's so bad. There's no way I would put Sneak and Show into like an 8-cast deck. If I put 4 sneak attacks, sorry, not sneak attacks. If I put 4 show and tells instead of 4 baubles, is that better? There's no way that this is better, right? Because baubles. Okay, so here's my argument. Okay. Wilson and I are brewing a blue-red Emery deck. Oh yeah, whatever. No. No, that deck is bad. Tell Wilson that it's bad. It's so bad. Please. The Gear Drake is so bad. It's not worth it. It is terrible. Please stop him, Wilson. Please. Or please stop Wilson, Steven. Please. Stop him. The only red portion of the deck that is worth it is Bombardiers. That's the only thing. Because you could chuck a Thought Monitor and deal 9 points of damage. That is the only thing. So then why do you need blue-red? I've tried to do it. I will say I've tried. I haven't tried hard. I've just tried. But anyway, I feel like it's hard with Emery. Do you know why? We're splashing for Engineer and Bombardier. Okay, so this is the thing. I can't brew with Welders and Bombardier, or sorry, Welders and Engineers anymore because I sold them to Jeffrey. But I think right now I would definitely be playing like a Welder Engineer plan, because after watching Dom play Rakdos Cauldron, I've been so in love with using Agatha Soul Cauldron. Yeah. That's what I've been. Ooh, you're running Cauldron. Okay, I'm on board. Wilson needs to build this deck. Wilson needs to do it. I am 100% on board. Okay, do you want to see my stupid brews? These brews are god awful. These are terrible. Yes, Chelsea, what's up? If you want me to go by a different name, I can go by a different name as well, if you don't want your real name. Actually, Chelsea might not be your real name, so we'll just keep calling you Chelsea. Okay, where are they? Why is my trash can in the middle of my hall? It's actually not my trash can, believe it or not. It used to. I was trying to use it as like a recycling bin, but it was way too small. But it is not my trash can. If you really must know, it's completely empty. There's nothing in it. If I flip it over, I can use it as a stool. But most recently, I was using it as a stand or a small table for my speaker. Yeah, if you have any other questions. Actually, you want to see like this? This thing is so big. This portrait, this paint, this. I don't know where to put it. I've been trying to find a place to put this, and wow, you can see all my setup. Can I reduce the glare somehow? No, whatever. This is cool because like apparently, I don't see it, but the person that my brother or the person that did it, labeled it as Zendikar. So my brother got it for me. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. 3 monitors. You know, I had 4. So above my main monitor, there was like a 4th monitor. But my desk is from IKEA. And we all know that IKEA quality stuff is not the greatest. And it ended up being so much weight that the monitor stand that I purchased to hold the 4 monitors kind of destroyed the desk. So if I take everything off of the desk, it's like flat, but then closer to the back, it's like kind of dented. Yeah. Okay. Quickly before we log out. Boom! So, this was version number 1. This was Jund Depths. So 61 cards in the main. So this deck is so stupid. Actually, no. This deck is actually not terrible. The strategy was kind of sound, right? So you have Minsc and Boo as an alternative win condition because you can. Where is it? We have Mox Diamonds. Wait, this might be the old version. There's supposed to be Ancient Tombs in this list. Because you had Ancient Tombs and Mox Diamond, you could actually put out Minsc and Boo pretty quick. You could probably put it out like turn 2 if you drew it. But it's primarily there for like the toss effect. So if you -2, you can fling like Merit Lodge and just dome them for 20. This is like a take of Naya Depths, but instead of Naya, it's Jund. So I wanted to include the Vampire Hexmage package, and that goes with Dark Depths, Vampire Hexmage, and Urborgs. But I think Jordan was correct, where it's trying to do... Actually, this one is a lot more streamlined. Every time I try to counteract this idea, like I tried to proxy it up and I tried to goldfish it a little bit, and it just kind of never worked. The best part about this list was Elvish Reclaimer. It was Elvish Reclaimer. I think a part of this is I have Life from the Loams in the list, and I don't think they should be here. But yeah, it is a play on Naya Depths. Oh, I'm asking for a lot. You should see the next list we're gonna look at. But yeah, we are trying to do a lot, right? So there's two, like, you can kind of equate Vampire Hexmage and Lumbering Megasloth as two kind of similar strategies. They both put out the big fatty, whereas Vampire Hexmage is more kill you more quickly because it produces the 2020 Merit Lodge. Lumbering Megasloth is just harder to deal with because they can't Prismatic Ending it. But it does come in as an 8/8. Broadside Bombardier is really, really good with like basically only Lumbering Megasloth. So that's, I think, where the big downside was. Like, you could eventually turn your Mox Diamonds into Shocks or Sylvan Libraries into like Fire Blasts. But beyond that, it was just like a 3-mana 2/2 menace beater. Your dog's name is Lumber? Lumber Dog? Yes, there's a lot of double colored spells. But it's not terrible because like Elvish Reclaimer, there's like 3 Elvish Reclaimers, 4 crop rotations. Then the Green Sun Zeniths are basically there only to fetch for Elvish Reclaimers. And if you really, really need it, the Sylvan Safekeepers. But yeah, actually, like, playing the deck, you didn't, like, after goldfishing it for a while, even against, like, Wasteland decks, the double colored pips wasn't too much of a problem. Because you have so many ways to tutor out, like, a forest, you should be fine. It can't sack library, you're right. It can't sack library. It turns your Sylvan Safekeeper into a lightning bolt. You suck a land, you chuck the Safekeeper, you're good. You're Gucci. But yeah, you're playing like 3 Green Sun Zeniths and then 4 Once Upon a Times. All in all, Jordan's a bit right. You're both a bit right. It's like it was just very inconsistent. I think the big detriment was that you don't have the mana consistency, mana stability that Naya had, because you have Flagstones of Trocaire. Because you had Flagstones of Trocaire, you could kind of keep yourself up with mana, but in this list, you're almost always negging lands, and it's really bad. It's now Lumber Megasloth. That's a really long name for a dog. Alright, next list. This one! You thought we were trying to do too much? This one. This is my Jundorian lands. This is where we have Yorion as a companion. And our main deck is 80 cards. Please do not mind the sideboard. I didn't get that far because I thought this idea was too stupid. But basically, it's essentially the same as the previous deck, but you're just upping the numbers. Like you have more Minskin Boos. You have one more Reclaimer. You're adding more of the Naya Depths package. I use Questy Druids as filler just for like some card advantage. No, this deck is terrible. It doesn't have the consistency because there's not as many tutors. Some guy in Saga was running Yorion Green White Depths. Sounds bad. Okay, but here's the thing. In Selesnya, you have white mana. You can cast Yorion. You cannot do that in Jund. If you look at the mana base, nothing produces white or blue. I don't think. Oh, there's one Karakas. Yes, none of the lands... None of the lands produce white or blue. So the only way you cast Yorion is through your 4 Mox Diamonds. Oh god. Actually, this deck could benefit from a Clothis, because Clothis can generate any color of mana. Yeah. This is the Living Wish package. This is this is where we were playing the Living Wish package. So the reason why there's so many non like 4-ofs is because we put them in the sideboard. So if we needed a Broadside Bombardier, like if we could make something and we could chuck it, we could Living Wish for a Broadside Bombardier. If we had the Thespian stage but didn't have the Dark Depths, we can Living Wish for Dark Depths or Echoing Deeps. So you choose Echoing Deeps so that if we've done a loop already and they dealt with the threat, then we can Echoing Deeps one of the pieces back. So we also have the one of Magus of the Moon. Because if Magus comes in and you play Dark Depths, it comes in with 0 counters, and then you can use Broadside to chuck the Magus and make it a 2020 Merilage. Thespian stage is in the sideboard for the same reason, same with Vampire Hexmage, and then Yorion also in the sideboard for obvious reasons. Oh god, I'm crying. Ugh. I'm actually more intrigued about this version than I am about the regular versions. I think Living Wish just makes this deck like way more like what the fuck. Because if you think about it, if you Magus of the Moon, and you Dark Depths, you can fetch for Yorion, use your Mox Diamonds, cast Yorion, flicker the Magus of the Moon, exiles it until it comes the end step. When it exiles, you get to make a Merit Lodge. Then when you end the turn, your Magus of the Moon comes back and your opponent is still punished. You know that Naya that Naya lands deck? I can see that guy's point of view. Yes, we live in magical Christmas land here. I think this was the last one that 3 days ago. I think this one was like the safest one. It was definitely way more mid-range. Because I'm trying to utilize breakdowns or breakouts to get like Elvish Reclaimers with haste. Daughty Voidwalkers, they will come in with haste. It would be really sick if this was instant. If this was an instant and you could Daughty Voidwalker at instant speed, oh, with haste, oh, that would have been so crazy. Yeah, and then you just play like the 4 Hex Mages because you're kind of all in on the Merit Lodge plan. Yeah, this one was a lot more simple. This is more like we can either power out a Merit Lodge or we can kind of whittle them away with Orcish Bowmasters and Thoughtseizes. But honestly, I don't think it's... I've kind of given up on this. Yeah. I don't know. It's hard. Like, if you were to take Jund lands, and I would try to pair it up against any of these decks, I think it would lose to every single one. Yeah. I think the answers are just so strong in Legacy now that Turbo Depths is just not great of an archetype. Anyway, it's 11 o'clock. This stream lasted way longer than I intended it to be. I got most of the testing done. And I think it's a good place to end here. But yeah. Thanks all for joining. It was fun. I miss streaming. Maybe I'll stream more, but the problem is, like, I don't know what I would stream. Yeah, I don't know what I'd stream. Anyway, thank ya, and we will see ya next time. Kaboo.